On the surface, people are high and mighty, the lords of their domain, but behind the scenes, they are the slaves to my rebellious cultivation. Under my coercion and temptation, the usually cold and aloof master sweetly calls me good brother. While putting on the black silk, I meticulously prepared. It turns out my master is the legendary heavenly fragrance body. As long as I engage in day and night dual cultivation with the beautiful master, I can not only heal all injuries, one's own cultivation will grow like a rocket soaring into the sky. I was once the fearsome blood demon supreme. I committed countless evil. I bullied the weak. I was hunted down by the 8 major sects for 2.5 years. In the final battle at Bright Summit, the leader Chi Mengdai of the sacred land of Yuxia led the charge. She used the heavenly dharma manifestation at the cost of her own life. I want to obliterate my opponent in one blow. Facing this world-destroying attack, I laugh wildly, breaking the immortality and questioning longevity. The earth is destroyed, but I have no regrets. After saying that, I used all my strength to choose self-preservation. In an instant, the violent power exploded recklessly between heaven and earth, blasting the many strong opponents into a disheveled mess. But 2.5 months later, a flash of red light broke through the sky and pierced into the silver cloud peak of the holy land of Taizu. A bedridden young man opened his eyes. Hee, I, Chu Han-san, am back again. Then I sat up straight, a hint of a wicked smile on my lips. For today, I have prepared a total of 3,781 backup plans and 1,201 resurrection tricks. With such thorough preparations, how could one easily go along with it? But what I didn't expect was that I would actually be reborn, becoming the direct disciple of Qiao Mengdai. I originally thought that relying on my identity would allow me to enjoy wealth and honor, but to my surprise, this body has been rendered useless, with extremely poor the aura of black fire has a combined combat power that is even less than a chicken. He even fought for a woman out of jealousy. He went up to the life and death arena. In the end, he was defeated in one move. He suffered extreme humiliation. I looked at the fragments in my mind and felt speechless. This guy is really unfortunate. But considering you're just a tool in this story, your enemy is my enemy. Your wife is my wife. Let's see how this story cultivates an invincible body. However, 2.5 hours later, the spiritual energy within me hasn't changed at all. This body is too useless. Truly a rare physique. Thinking of this, I suddenly smiled wickedly, but fortunately, I still have a backup plan to crack it. Moments later, I arrived at Chi Mengdai's cave. Looking up at Chi Mengdai, who was so high above, I immediately knelt down. Master, your disciple was captured 10 days ago while fighting. I beg you to help your disciple resume the path of cultivation. However, Chi Mengdai refused to help me, citing my low cultivation and reckless behavior. She even wanted to expel me from the sect. Upon hearing this, I stood up abruptly. I questioned my master loudly. My cultivation is low. Don't you know the reason? You have given all the resources to the junior brothers and sisters. Without resources, how am I supposed to improve my cultivation and become stronger? Is it just because I share the same name as old demon Chu that you hold a grudge against me? Upon hearing this, she then sighed deeply. In a leisurely manner, she said, I will definitely find you talented individuals and precious treasures. I will ensure your path of cultivation continues. I smiled at her. No, master, you can help me right now. I've heard that you are the body of heavenly fragrance. If we can cultivate together, not only can I heal all my injuries, but I can also enhance my cultivation talent. So, master, please cultivate with me. After I said that, I leaned in and kissed you. Realizing what was happening, Chi Mengdai instantly became furious and embarrassed. She intended to seek death. How dare she humiliate me in front of the throne? As she spoke, she summoned her holy weapon. She wanted to tear me to pieces. But the next second, as a spell was chanted from my lips, the weapon that Qiao Mengdai had just formed began to gradually disintegrate. I also began to experience weakness in my legs. Chi Mengdai looked utterly incredulous. With my great saint cultivation, I actually can't exert my strength. With a smile on my face, I stepped forward. Master, I beg you. Hearing this, Chi Mengdai was filled with terror. Rebellious disciple, what are you going to do to me? However, I didn't stop my actions at all. Master, please teach your disciple. It turns out that in my previous life, while being chased, I secretly used the reincarnation sky cave incantation on Chi Mengdai. As long as I have a thought or make a move, below the realm of the emperor, the female cultivator who is marked by the purple seal can only let me take control of her. Seeing that Chi Mengdai still wanted to resist, I leaned in and grabbed her chin. I clicked my tongue in praise, saying she's already thousands of years old. I didn't expect her skin to still be so good. Rebellious disciple, how dare you be so rude? Aren't you afraid I'll kill you? I chuckled softly. My eyes were full of disdain. Disciple seeks death. Master, don't always threaten me with your words. But if I were to tell Princess Lu Shui that you lost your cultivation, guess what he would do? After all, you are his father's murderer. As soon as these words were Chi Mengdai's pupils instantly contracted. No, I can't let that lunatic Lu Shui know. Otherwise, he will definitely come to kill me. Upon realizing this, the strange green butterfly felt a bit flustered. It intended to ask what you wanted. Heavenly treasures, or cultivation resources. I can provide you with the antidote. However, before the words were finished, I pushed him down to the ground. No, what I want is much more than this. What my disciple wants is your body. Upon hearing this, Chi Mengdai's face flushed with desire. But she still loudly resisted. Impossible, absolutely impossible. I, a great and powerful victor, would never submit to an ant like you. Yet my smile grew even more gentle. Now I finally know fear. Disciple, there is an ancient technique here. It will be very beneficial for you. So please, master, just agree with your disciple. As Chi Mengdai tightened her jaw, her fingers clenched. In an instant, my injuries healed. My cultivation talent also rapidly improved amidst his continuous shouting. After 2.5 hours of intense training, I instantly grew from a complete novice to the 9th level of foundation establishment. Chi Mengdai's tone no longer held the previous pride, but instead seemed pitiful. You have already gotten what you wanted. Can you lift my seal now? I refused without hesitation. Do you take me for a fool? If you don't want others to know your cultivation is sealed, you should hide it well. Then I took out the shadow crystal that had just recorded everything. Master, you should know the purpose of this crystal ball in my hand. Seeing this scene, Chi Mengdai's face instantly turned red, her heart racing. You ungrateful disciple. It actually got captured on film. Seeing this, I quickly told him not to get too excited. It's just a keepsake. However, considering our long friendship, I must advise you not to entertain any thoughts of breaking the seal. In the entire Sky Dome continent, unless the ancient emperor is reborn, no one but me can break it. But you also know, there are no great enemies left in the world. If I die, you will only be able to live as a mortal for the rest of your life. And the content in this crystal ball will spread throughout the world. If you don't believe me, you can try it. Watch me as I leave. Chi Mengdai began to tremble involuntarily all over. Countless emotions surged in her heart. You traitor. You deserve a terrible fate. Immediately, various panicked voices echoed in the empty hall. After leaving the hall, I began to contemplate how to enhance my strength. Although cultivating with my beautiful master indeed speeds up the process, but it can also lead to an unstable foundation. In the same realm, it is the lowest tier. However, for me, this is not a problem. It's simply because I have left behind tens of thousands of treasure locations across the continent, so I didn't return directly to my cave. Instead, I took a borrowed vehicle from the sect, heading towards the sacred land of the ancestors. I wonder if the foundation resources left in a hidden valley back then are still here. Before long, I found myself in front of a giant rock. I then bit my finger. Using my blood, I drew a pentagram on the rock. Great. These foundation treasures are indeed still here. At that moment, a playful voice suddenly came from behind me. I saw two men and a woman standing on the deck ahead. Zhang Meng laughed. What a waste. I thought you were dead. It seems the master of Yinxia Peak treats you, his great disciple, well. He actually spared the genius treasure to help you, a useless one, restore your will see. At that moment, I recognized that the speaker was the one who had crippled the original owner's cultivation. So I controlled the direction of the African change. I brushed past the opponent. I simply left behind 8 words. We will fight again in 10 days. To the death, without rest. Zhang Meng and 2 fellow disciples exchanged glances in disbelief. The next moment, they burst into laughter. The former defeated opponent actually dared to challenge again. It's truly laughable. Zhang Meng also used the sound transmission technique to inform all disciples of the Holy Land, except for the useless ones. Since you are determined to find death and challenge me again, then 10 days later on the life and death arena, I will send you to be reborn in another world. As soon as he finished speaking, the disciples were discussing among themselves. They all thought I was crazy. In order to improve my strength as much as possible, I came to Chimengye's cave once again. After all, this is the place with the richest aura of clouds and winds. Anyway, what belongs to my master is mine. Every inch, every bit of my master is mine. Thinking of this, I directly flashed inside. Master Lei Ho, I've come to see you again. Seeing me again. Chimengye's expression instantly turned sour. She tightened her collar, as if to ask what I wanted to do again. I walked up with a smile to his face. I pinched my master. What do you want me to do? I still have a lot of ideas I want to try. Without waiting for a response, I directly took out the array flags from my storage bag, setting up the stillness. Chi Mengdai watched the profound technique I used to set up the stillness. Her beautiful eyes filled with bewilderment and shock. Is your formation technique inherited from Thailand? You truly have a keen eye, master. I can teach you. But what do you plan to exchange for it? Upon hearing this, the master shyly lowered their head, indicating they didn't want to learn. Well then, if that's the case, the disciple can safely enter seclusion now. Saying this, I tossed out a pile of wild fruits from my storage bag. Master, you are now in a mortal body. You can't avoid it. If you're hungry, just eat these. Seeing Chi Mengdai reluctant, I directly slapped his perky bottom. Caught off guard, he instantly fell onto the bed. Master is being naughty again. I have set up a sand formation in the back hall. Whoever steps in will die. If you die, my disciple will be very sad. After all, I still need you to improve my cultivation aptitude. As soon as I finished speaking, I heard Chimengye's angry yet powerless curses. I didn't pay any attention. Instead, I went to the back hall alone. I took out the prepared Tao of voice and creation, as well as the strongest assistance technique scripture. The two complement each other. From now on, looking across the sky dome continent, there will be no cultivator with a foundation stronger than mine. As I consumed the Tao fruit, the essence of the Tao fruit began to nourish every inch of my meridians, skin, and flesh as the scripture circulated. In an instant, I was enveloped in golden light. Above my head, countless dragon and phoenix shadows danced. There were ancestral deities giving sermons, and spirits and demons roaring. People say that those who have long been afflicted by fate will only follow the path laid out by their predecessors. Little do they know, breaking free from fate is the true path to success. The waves of energy centered around me. Waves of spiritual energy surged around the back hall, spreading across the cloud mist peak. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth gathered wildly, all within the main hall of the peak master. A funnel-shaped vortex of spiritual energy with a diameter of 1,000 meters formed above. Even the powerful figures from other peaks couldn't help but glance over. Such strong spiritual energy. Is the sword master from the cloud dream butterfly about to break through to the west? This person is the master of the heavenly sword peak, Lu Shuai. At this moment, I was completely unaware of the turmoil occurring outside. I continued to absorb spiritual energy like an old monk in meditation. In the next moment, I suddenly opened my eyes. Divine light radiated. Today, I shall break through from the foundation establishment realm to the extreme realm. I will transcend into the wheel sea, casting the supreme foundation. Ding detected that the host has broken through a major realm. Reward mechanism activated. Reward, ancestral sacred body obtained. As soon as the words were spoken, I immediately exclaimed, why does this reward sound so familiar? Realizing this, I cursed loudly. Although the ancient sacred body is invincible in flesh, it is the strongest battle body of the human race. However, by the later stages of cultivation, resources will become extremely scarce. In today's continent, the ancient sacred body is no different from a useless body. But since I have already fused with the ancient sacred body, I can only grit my teeth and continue cultivating. But hey. Fortunately, I still have a treasure of a master. After finishing my cultivation, I walked out of the back hall. At this moment, Xiao Mengdai was squatting barefoot on the lotus throne. She held a bright red fruit in her hands. She was taking small bites, looking pitiful and helpless. Upon seeing me, Yun Mengdai quickly put the fruit away. He cursed loudly, you ungrateful disciple. Hearing this, I quickly leaned closer. I gently comforted my master. It's exactly. It feels like 3 autumns. As I spoke, I even sniffed his fragrant shoulder with my nose. Master, you haven't bathed in a few days. Why do you have a faint smell on you? Hearing this, Chi Mengdai was instantly filled with rage. Xiong Air was also quite furious. Isn't it because you, the rebellious disciple, occupy the back room? You have no place to bathe yourself. It really is the disciple's fault. In that case, let the disciple personally serve the master in bathing. Saying this, ignoring Chi Mengdai's resistance, he directly pulled her to the back. Looking at Chi Mengdai lying on the 2.5-meter big bed, I couldn't help but admire again. Truly worthy of the heavenly fragrance body. Even after a few days without a bath, she remains pure and spotless. With her icy skin and jade-like beauty, please. The disciple's talent is really too poor. Let the disciple personally give you a back rub. However, just at that moment, a figure appeared at the entrance of the cave. The visitor was Tian Xingfen. Tian Xing, having heard that Chi Mengdai was in seclusion to heal, came here to deliver a 7th-grade healing elixir for his beloved junior sister, Mengdai. But while giving the back rub, Chi Mengdai heard this. The cheeks, red with shame, seemed to be bleeding. The voice came out in a stammering manner. Senior brother Qianqing, please forgive me. I encountered a problem in my cultivation. I cannot meet with you for the time being. Seeing that Chi Mengdai refused to accept the elixir, Qianqing began to play the new piece he learned, Phoenix Seeking the Phoenix, outside the hall. Master, senior brother Qianqing plays it really well. The disciple couldn't help but give him a thumbs up. Chi Mengdai underneath was blushing. I actually talked with my senior brother just now. In 2.5 hours. I lay on my side, feeling refreshed. I was caressing Chi Mengdai's slightly messy hair. Master, look, given our current close relationship, disciple wants to borrow some cultivation resources from you again. It shouldn't be a problem, right? Upon hearing this, Chi Mengdai helplessly took out the resources she had on her, but they were all 4th grade pills. Hearing my dissatisfied words, Chi Mengdai turned and said, "This is all I have for now. Unless you can lift my seal." Without waiting for him to finish speaking, I directly packed the items, and turned to walk outside. Forget it. It's better than nothing. Seeing that I was unyielding, Chi Mengdai felt a sudden sense of powerlessness. Should I go plead with the Holy Lord? Maybe he can help me break the seal. But what if he can't? If the intention senses danger and flees, then I would truly have to live my life as a man, until I grow old and die. That's not the character of Chi Mengdai. After regaining composure, he reached into his chest. He took out a bronze mask engraved with a fox pattern. The bronze mask can conceal all the auras of the cultivators, as long as there's no contact with others. Even a peak Saint King cannot probe from a distance. Moreover, he had found this thing a few months ago while hunting down old Demon Chu. Thinking of this, Chi Mengdai slowly put on the mask. Right now, the most important thing is to break free from that traitor's confinement as soon as possible. Otherwise, he would probably be bound by him for this entire life. Returning to the entrance of my cave, it seems as if there is some kind of response. The corners of my mouth lift slightly. Master has finally put on the bronze face mask. My efforts as a disciple have not been in vain. Put it on, if you don't wear this mask. How can this work develop peacefully in the Taozu's sacred land? Immediately after, I take out the recently obtained Xianbing exorcism sword from my storage bag. Only 3 days left until the life and death arena. Time is tight. I must quickly improve my strength and comprehend the sword. Then, I split off my spirit stone. With my foot on the evil repelling sword, I set out to find my own sword. I ascend upward, until I fly to an altitude of 10,000 meters. In the next moment, it felt as if my soul was grasped by an invisible hand. When I opened my eyes, I saw beams of colorful light falling down. Each beam of light was like a shadow of a sword. In this life, I will be cultivated. Naturally, I want to find one of the strongest sword intents as much as possible. A certain memory surged in my heart. Bits and pieces of the past kept replaying in my mind. When I opened my eyes again, a blood-colored sword that looked like stone flashed in the depths of my pupils. Congratulations, host, you have obtained one of the original 5 great swords. Heavenly killing sword, sword shape. I smiled slightly. Not bad. The intent of this sword aligns with my nature. Once I break through the sword intent, I will surely be able to dominate the life and death arena in one move. At the same time, the Taizu sacred land, the Taizu emperor, and the Taizu sun have discovered that someone is searching for the sword intent. But when he saw the traces I left while seeking the sword intent, he struck suddenly. That person actually reached 9,999 meters. This is a realm only achievable by a quasi-emperor sword god. Could it be that I, the Taizu sacred emperor, will also produce a person like the sword god? On the life and death arena 3 days from now, I heard the news of my rematch with Zhang Meng. Many disciples from the Holy Land came to watch. The true disciple of the Heavenly Sword Peak, Jian Lingyun, accompanied Zhang Meng to the battle. The girl beside Jian Lingyun is Su Tianjin, the object of the original owner's affection and a true disciple of the Heavenly Sword Peak. With a beautiful swordswoman by his side, Zhang Meng started to show off. With Chu Xiu's weak level, he actually dares to challenge me. He really is asking for trouble. Everyone echoed in agreement. But they didn't understand how the people of Yinxia Peak could tolerate such a waste as their senior brother. At this moment, the 5th sister of Yinxia Peak, Tao Yao, stepped forward. To elevate oneself by living up, mocking others. Is that how your sect leader teaches you? If your mouths dare to keep chattering, I wouldn't advise you to have your master seal him. At that moment, I calmly took a flight to Africa to the life and death arena. After successfully breaking through and becoming a sword cultivator, I was already confident of winning this battle. Just after getting off the flight, Tao Yao rushed towards me. Senior brother, with your junior sister here, no one can harm you in the slightest. Last time, it was my junior sister's retreat that caused my senior brother to get hurt. My junior sister feels uneasy. Seeing this, I affectionately ruffled her hair. Don't worry, last time it wasn't your fault. This time, I won't get hurt, senior brother. After saying that, I felt something and turned my head to the side. My crush, Su Tianjin, came into view. I looked her up and down. Not bad looking, but your skills are a bit mediocre. Seeing my arrival, Zhang Meng revealed a cruel smile. Since you're here, let's head to the life and death arena now. To settle this, I still need to go back and focus on my cultivation. I smiled slightly. I indicated that there was no need to rush. Greetings, fellow disciples. It's not easy for everyone to gather here to watch the competition. How can we miss out on some excitement? I have a bottle of 7th grade heavenly mysterious pill here. There are a total of 6 pieces, all of superb quality. In an instant, all the disciples present had their eyes gleaming with envy. It is said that as long as you take the 7-tiered heavenly profound pill, you can not only increase the speed of comprehending divine abilities, but also have a high probability of breaking through from the peak of the divine ability realm to the small saint realm. However, everyone knows that this item is very expensive. There isn't a single person present who can stake an equivalent bet. Seeing this, I suggested that everyone could pool together. After the game, the spoils can be divided according to the proportion of contributions. The crowd of scholars swarmed in. Everyone took out their treasures from their storage artifacts to place bets and collateral. The situation was dire. I too would inevitably lose in this situation. Seeing that everyone was in agreement, I felt a surge of delight inside. After assessing the value of the items, Elder Tai Ying officially announced the establishment of the wager. As soon as the words were spoken, I moved my body accordingly. I leaped up from the half-meter high audience seats and jumped onto the life and death arena. My robes billowed, creating waves of dark ripples. Zhang Meng on the platform laughed cruelly. In his eyes, I'm still the same useless person as before. Although my cultivation has returned to the 4th level of the Wheel C, I am still far behind my own peak at the 9th level of the Wheel C. Zhang Meng is very confident, believing that defeating a useless person like me is no different from squashing an ant. He raised his right leg and stomped down on the arena floor. The whole person shot out like a cannonball. Immediately after, a lightning-fast whip kick struck towards my head. I narrowly dodged this lightning strike with a close call. Zhang Meng saw this. He chuckled. Looks like you're not slow, kid. How about this move? With that, black long spikes appeared in his hand. In the next moment, the black flying spikes shot out on their own. The breaking air rushed towards my brow. Seeing this, I once again activated the Shin level movement technique to leave an afterimage. I swiftly dodged to the side. The disciples below watched in shock. This attack was really fierce. Every move was a lethal strike. Chu Xiu's movement technique is also commendable. He always manages to avoid fatal attacks at critical moments. After dozens of rounds of fighting, Zhang Meng couldn't touch a single hair on me. He watched me slip away like an eel. Zhang Meng finally lost his patience. He couldn't keep entangled like this anymore. Otherwise, it would really be hard to say who would win or lose in the end. What needed to be done now was to finish it quickly. Thinking of this move, the fierce warrior grasped the hilt of his sword. Then he drew a 2.5-meter long sword and charged at me. He aimed to block my movement with a flurry of sword energy. Noticing Zhang Meng's intentions, my gaze shifted slightly. This is perfect. I can try out the feel of my new weapon. As I slowly drew the sword in my hand, a flash appeared behind me. Die, useless trash. Little did he know, he was the one who fell into the trap. The dark fish is on the hook. I am someone who possesses the ancient holy body, although I haven't fully mastered it yet. When it comes to close combat, I am invincible in this realm. Earlier, I was entangled with Zhang Meng. It's just a performance for the poison dogs. Zhang Meng only saw a beautiful flash of blood like a painting. The blood sword glided across his neck like autumn water. Blood gushed out like a fountain, spraying several meters. 4 layers of Galuan Sea, hitting the 9th layer of Luan Peak. Aha. This is indeed as simple as squashing a little ant. As Zhang Meng fell down, everyone on the observation platform gasped in shock. Lin Yun also found it hard to believe. How is this possible? Zhang Meng actually lost. As the elder of Tianqing Peak announced the results, the crowd below began to cry uncontrollably. My 3,000 high-grade spirit stones. I'm so angry. I never want to be a gambler again. Just then, I suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. I half knelt on the ground, my face pale, looking seriously injured. The junior sister saw this and hurried over to help me. Big brother, are you okay? I'm holding my chest, feeling weak. Junior sister, hurry and help me back to the cloud. The wind in the gorge thought, since I have to play the fool to catch the tiger, I must act like a crab. If I'm not injured, others will definitely see the flaw. As expected, just as Tao Yao was helping me down from the stage, the sword spirit Yun revealed a strange smile at the corner of his mouth. Then he turned to a nearby disciple and instructed a few words. In the next moment, a voice rang out in the arena. Churu, wait a moment. I am a direct disciple of the Heavenly Sword Peak. Lin Fei, do you dare to battle me? The junior sister's voice is cold, killing intent boiling. Did you not see the senior brother was injured? At this moment to seek a fight again. What is the intention behind it? Jian Lingyun, on the side, expressed disagreement. Junior sister Tao Yao's words are a bit excessive. Since the life and death token has been brought out, naturally, it is inevitable to be challenged by various skilled players. Not to mention just winning so many resources in the last match. This makes everyone feel somewhat unconvinced. So, the senior brother of Yunxia Peak, are you willing to bet again? If you win again, everyone will be convinced. Looking at the expression of the sword spirit Yun, it seems to provoke a challenge. I spat out a mouthful of blood again. It's not impossible, but it will cost more. The stakes must be raised by at least 30%. When Yen's sword spirit Yun sneered coldly in his heart, greed without strength is the original sin. If you seek death, don't blame others. Su Tianjin shook his head at this scene. Doesn't this brother Chu know when to stop while he's ahead? And the gambler who just lost a round suddenly stirred from his originally calm state. Under my drumming and cheering, they all took out their winnings and their stakes. In their understanding, the 4th level of the Wheel C mirror could never defeat the 1st level of the Divine Bridge mirror. Seeing this scene, the corners of my mouth slightly lift. Bro, my fortune and success all rely on you guys. Only Tao Yao looks at me with concern in her eyes. Senior brother, are you really okay? I directly transmit a confident look back. Don't worry, just focus on supporting me and everything will be fine. With the elder's command, my second round of life and death battle begins again. However, Lin Fei, standing on the arena, stated that he did not want to look down on others. But his junior sister is currently seriously injured. She needs a very rare and precious treasure to save her life. And Jian Lingyun has it in his hands. So for the sake of his junior sister, he had no choice but to fight against Lingyun. The blade knows no master. If you die, I hope you won't blame me. I chuckled coldly. The story is quite touching. But this is a life and death arena. As soon as the words left I swiftly moved to stand behind Lin Fei. Since you care so much for your junior sister, then you can go safely. Your junior sister is here to take care of you. Wait for Lin Fei to react. I directly thrust my sword through his chest. Then, another palm thunder sent Lin Fei flying. Lin Fei's whole body crashed against the arena's barrier like a rag doll. With his face covered in blood, Lin Fei struggled a few times to get up. His eyes gradually dimmed. He completely lost his breath. The villain dies from excessive talking, so I generally don't like to waste words. The disciples who witnessed this scene were completely stunned. How could Chu Xiu, at the 4th level of the Ocean Realm, defeat Lin Fei in one move? The disciple who bet everything on his wife cried out in despair. This time, he really lost even his underwear. Only Tao Yao was joyfully clinging to my arm. Senior brother, you are so amazing. Under the envious and jealous gazes of many disciples, Tao Yao and I joyfully collected the mountain of resources into our storage bags. Then I snapped my fingers. In the next moment, a palm-sized African appeared before us. At this time, my little junior sister spoke up with concern. Senior brother, you've offended the sword spirit fish today. This person is very scheming. You must be careful of him. Never let your guard down. After returning to my lair, I placed the spoils in the hall. As I pondered how to deal with this item worth 16 million, I suddenly sensed something unusual on the surface of the bronze lake. Master, who are you chatting with? At the same time, the holy master of Taisu is currently talking with Qi Mengdai. I personally witnessed your disciple find the initial suggestion 2.5 days ago. So Mengdai, you need to train this disciple well. In the future, our Taisu Holy Land might just have another potential emperor sword god. Hearing this, Qi Mengdai was almost brought to tears with grievance. Train well. What more can I do to train? I've now become that rebellious disciple's training experience package. Alright, I heard that. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Master, since Taizuzi has spoken, I'll reluctantly have a deeper conversation with you. Before long, I arrived at Qi Mengdia's cave. Master, your disciple has come to seek your guidance again. Qi Mengdai sat gracefully on the bed with a bronze fan in hand. He asked with a somewhat cold tone, why did the map hide this from me? When you found the initial suggestion, I didn't respond right away. Instead, I walked over and embraced his slim waist. Master, how did you know? After learning the whole story, I laughed heartily. Is the Holy Emperor really deciding to cultivate me, this unparalleled genius, vigorously? Qi Mengdia's gaze flickered. She didn't dare to look me in. There are no resources given for free in this world. Even if you are the reincarnation of the earth, you still have to fight for it with your own strength. Seize the opportunity. I lifted her chin with my hand. This principle, my disciple, I completely agree with. Isn't this just relying on oneself to ask Ming for resources? Zaimegi's beauty is absolutely stunning, but pales in comparison to me. What are you trying to do again? With my Sharingan, since I'm here, I might as well. After all, I have nothing better to do. I humbly asked my master to help me enhance my aptitude. After a long 2.5 minutes, Qi Mengdai, her cheeks flushed, felt weak all over. She slumped on the jade throne in the suburbs, and my aptitude has reached the heavenly level. My cultivation speed has increased by 31 times. However, I am quite dissatisfied with such results. The heavenly fragrance body should not be so mediocre. Is it because his cultivation has been sealed? Maybe we should try unsealing him next time. But then I thought again, that this method is too dangerous. After all, Qi Mengdai is a strong figure at the minor saint level. Then I turned around and said, thank you for your hard work today, master. I will take my leave now. At this point, Qi Mengdai felt even more annoyed. You dare to do such things, yet you still pretend to be hypocritical. After leaving the cave, I arrived at the treasure gathering pavilion. I planned to exchange the resources I won for cultivation materials. As soon as I reached the entrance, a beautiful woman greeted me with a charming smile. Chu Xiaoran, a disciple of the treasure gathering pavilion, has met senior brother Chu Xiu. Senior brother Chu is here to sell items. Hearing this, I directly lifted his chin with my hand. How does junior sister know my intentions for coming here? Chu Xiaoran smiled charmingly. Today, senior brother showcased his might on the life and death arena. He won countless treasures. Now that you've come to this treasure pavilion, junior sister can naturally guess your purpose. Please follow me into the building, senior brother. After speaking, Chu Xiaoran turned around and led the way. Watching her graceful figure, I suddenly felt a sense of caution. This woman is deliberately getting close to me. What exactly are her intentions? Upon entering the gathering treasure building, I first took a casual glance around. Then I expressed, first, 15 million. High-quality recovery pills. When Chu Xiaoran heard this, he was instantly dumbfounded. What do you need so many recovery pills for? Are you planning to soak in vitality liquid? Though he thought this in his heart, he still did not ask any further. While Chu Xiaoran was preparing the ammunition, I wandered around again. Suddenly, an object caught my attention. I saw a rusted piece of bronze sitting at the bottom of the shelf. What on earth is this? How could it resonate with the heavenly killer sword inside me? Just as I picked up the fragment to examine it closely, Chu Xiaoran finished preparing the ammunition and left. Seeing this, he readily stated that this worthless item, if my senior brother likes it, he can take it. As soon as he finished speaking, I directly shoved the pouch of money into his hand. This is 100 high-grade origins. You keep it. I don't like being in debt to others. Just as I was about to go downstairs and leave this place, behind me, Chu Xiaoran suddenly spoke. Senior brother Chu. Wait a moment. Junior sister has something to ask senior brother for help. I smiled slightly. As I expected, this junior sister indeed has something to find me for. Then, Chu Xiaoran took me to an empty attic. What does junior sister want to discuss with me? If it's too troublesome, there's no need to mention. Although Chu Xiaoran felt a bit awkward after hearing this, she still smiled and asked, Senior brother, do you know about the Taizu Divine Tower? I naturally know. Not only is it the treasure that protects our Taizu Holy Emperor, but it's also the best trial ground for us disciples. The trials of the Divine Tower test the disciples' talent and comprehension. The higher the levels you ascend, the more benefits you gain. Chu Xiaoran nodded. This time, I would like to ask my senior brother for help. It is related to the Taizu Divine Tower. One of the 3 secret realms of the Holy Emperor of Taizu, the Wilderness Demon Secret Realm, will open in a month. There are many opportunities inside, but the slots to enter are indeed limited. The only way is to participate in the divine. Disciples who rank in the top 300 in the Tower Trial and the top 1,700 in the Divine Bridge can qualify. With Brother Chu's current strength, you will definitely enter the top 300 of the Wheel Sea realm. So, can you do me a favor, brother? Once the matter is accomplished, Xiao Ran will follow Brother Chu's orders. After obtaining the medicinal pills needed for cultivation, I will return to my cave and begin closed-door cultivation. Only 2.5 days have passed. My realm has broken through from the 4th level of the Wheel Sea to the 9th level. Just when I was about to fully transcend and break through to the 10th level of the Wheel Sea, I found that I needed to possess 3 rare celestial treasures, the 10,000 medicine spirit milk, the Bully Divine Flower, and the Soul Shadow Demon Fruit to break through the ultimate realm. But these 3 rare treasures are simply not available for purchase in the market. Even if someone sells them, the price is astronomical. I can't afford them at all. At that moment, a flash of inspiration suddenly struck my mind, recalling that Chu Xiaoran had mentioned someone bringing out the Soul Eagle Demon Fruit from the Wilderness Demon Secret Realm, in order to enhance their strength. It seems the Taizu Divine Tower is a must-visit. 3 days later, with the sound of a bell ringing, the once-in-30-year Secret Realm trial officially begins. The 2 elders responsible for this trial are Elder Huang and Mo Fian from Taizu Peak. Just as they were discussing which disciple could achieve the crown forever, a sudden disturbance drew their attention. The speed is so fast, you can tell he's an experienced driver. And the old man Huang revealed my identity, Chen Chuxiu, the top disciple of Yunxia Peak. This made a young man in the crowd clench his fists. With great ambition, he must believe he can make it to the top 10 of the Divine Bridge realm. Let Taizu Tower be my witness. I glanced at him. What are you barking about? The young man suddenly jolted. He quickly turned around and bowed. It turned out to be a senior from Yunxia Peak. I saw the true disciple of the summer wind, Yi. Looking at the aura that shone in his eyes, I narrowed my gaze. Could this kid be the protagonist? Then I must befriend him. Sucking away his breath, I was dizzy from it. At that moment, the cloud and mist appeared on the stone tablet. The disciple of the true transmission, Chu Xiu, began the first layer of the assessment. Seeing this, I also stopped talking to Yifan. I turned and walked towards the Taizu God Tower. I started my first trial. After entering the Taizu Tower, I began to cut through everything easily. I effortlessly arrived at the 67th floor. Guarding this floor was a character named Charm, radiating allure. Stay here. Join me in ascending to paradise. However, for someone like me, who has encountered countless women, this little charm is hardly worth mentioning. I then drew my sword and swiftly beheaded the charm demon. Immediately after, I entered the 68th floor of the Tower of Swift Deities. Guarding this level are 4 elders at the pinnacle of the Wheel Sea realm, but the result was still inconvenient. I killed them with a single sword strike. Thus, I fought my way through. Finally, I reached the 98th level of the Divine Tower. To my surprise, guarding this level was the Taizu Emperor at the pinnacle of the 9th level of the Wheel Sea, facing an ancient emperor I had never seen before. My eyes were filled with endless battles. The great emperor comes to fight. However, after several rounds of confrontation, I found that I was simply no match for the supreme emperor of speed. If this continues, I will eventually fail to clear the level. Thinking of this, my gaze gradually became frenzied. Come on, it's either you die or I die. When the punch of the Taizu Emperor pierced through my chest, the palm condensed with the heavenly kill sword wings also gripped his neck. Injury for injury, life for life. This is the way I have honed my combat. A beam of light enveloped my body, and moments later, it transported me to the 99th floor. What came into view were 4 stone tablets shaped like swords, engraved with blades, shields, and fists. I chose the sword steel without hesitation. However, I didn't expect that the sword techniques within the steel mostly followed a light and graceful path. They simply couldn't unleash the advantages of the primordial sacred body and the celestial killing sword wings. Combining the two, only a heavy sword could develop the most powerful attack method. Thinking of this, a long sword weighing 25,000 pounds condensed in front of me. As I swung the sword down, an 80-meter chasm suddenly appeared before my eyes. Seeing this, I couldn't help but laugh loudly. The sword of immortal quality records the eternal cultivation, in a world where all things are silent and extinguished. At the same time, the bell outside the Divine Tower of Taizu suddenly rang. Chu Xiu, the true disciple of Yunxia Peak, broke through his limits. Zhenggu was astonished. Ascended to the 99th floor of the Divine Tower, positioned as a guardian of the Wheel Sea. The disciples were stunned at this scene, completely taken aback. When I confidently walked out of the Taizu Divine Tower, the assessing elder immediately came to my side. Mo Fian wore a radiant smile like a blooming chrysanthemum. Chu Xiu Lord, if you want to meet, come with me. After arriving at the Taizu Hall, I found my master sitting upright with a bronze lake surface. Upon seeing me, Qi Mengye's body twisted uncomfortably a few times. At this moment, Taizuzi suddenly spoke up. To see a disciple who has broken the ancient limits, I am truly gratified. What kind of reward do you want? As soon as I heard that, I climbed up the ladder immediately. Your Majesty, please hold your... Look, I did break the record after all. Is there a reward? As soon as I finished speaking, Chi Mengdai instantly stood up. A rebellious disciple must not be rude. Beside, Taisuko hurriedly stopped. Dream butterfly fairy. It's fine, let me hear what reward your disciple wants. Upon hearing that I want the 3 rare treasures, soul-entwined demon bones, 1 Yaoling Ru, and Bodhi divine flower, Chi Mengdai almost bit her jade teeth to pieces. Your true rebellious disciple certainly has a big appetite. However, Taisuko didn't seem to mind much. She indicated that the Holy Land's treasury currently doesn't have these 3 items, but the one who would take a life came up with a way. Seeing that the Taizuzi is so easy to talk to, a wicked thought suddenly arose in my heart. If I use the mother and child seal to control this holy lord as well, wouldn't it mean that this divine, ancient forbidden spell could float from my fingertips, without the prince noticing at all? The child seal of the heavenly cave successfully invaded his body. What surprised me was that the mother-son seal could actually be used on 2 people at the same time. Then I could be with both my master and the prince. The map system at night detected my audacious thoughts, and immediately rewarded me with a celestial secretary scroll for reading. Seeing this, I chuckled. This reward is great. A villain who doesn't poison others can't be considered a qualified villain. Then Taizuko rewarded me with a Bagua blood body, indicating its great effect on enhancing vitality. Looking at the retreating figures of me and Chi Mengdai, a trace of seriousness flashed across Taizuko's face. I wonder where this sense of crisis just came from. Could it be that someone is plotting against me? Sigh, perhaps it's just an illusion. From being in seclusion for 2. Let's go out for a walk. On the other side, I will directly take Chi Mengdia's Africa back to Yinxia Peak. Junior sisters, you 2 go ahead. I have something to discuss with the master. As soon as the words were spoken, Chi Mengdai immediately felt something was off. She reflexively said no. Then he coughed lightly twice as if to cover up. He instructed the maid to leave first. Seeing this, I raised my hand directly. I cast a spell to soundproof the entire room. Dear master, at this moment, there were only the 2 of us in the room. Let's not waste this beautiful time together. Zaimandi responded. With an annoyed huff, I took off the mask. You rebellious disciple, are you trying to bully me again? Do you really think of me as your stunning leopard? I chuckled softly, leaning in closer. Master, am I really such a sarcastic person in your eyes? Seeing Chi Mengdai remain silent, I directly got up and seized the bronze mask. Master, do you want to restore your cultivation? This mask is really impressive. It even went unnoticed by a powerful saint like Tai Suzy. Master, you have lost your cultivation. Upon hearing this, Chi Mengdai shyly said, you're not bad either. After that with my master, you will definitely carry the scent of the heavenly fragrance body, but you have managed to cover it up well. If the holy master notices this, then our affair will be exposed. At that time, everything will be unpredictable. Thinking of this, Chi Mengdai said with some relief, you just mentioned that you would help me restore my cultivation. What are the conditions? As soon as the words fell, I directly took out the unparalleled treasure I had cherished for many years. With a mischievous grin, I said to my master, why don't you try this on first? Under my intense gaze, Chi Mengdai blushed, putting on the exquisite black stockings right in front of me. Looking at her shimmering jade-like feet, I couldn't help but reach out with my hands. Chi Mengdai was startled by my actions. What are you doing, you rebellious disciple? Africa can sway, you know. A wicked smile crept across my lips. I leaned closer to his face. Why are you still calling me a rebellious disciple? Call me your good brother instead. Chi Mengdai pushed me away with a look of disgust. Ha, you ungrateful disciple. In your dreams. Even if I die, I won't call out. But after 10 minutes of beating me up, Chi Mengdai, though completely defeated, still refuses to yield. Not calling out means not calling out. I, a dignified great sage, how can I let you control me? My good master, if you don't call out, I'll just send a sound transmission across 1,000 miles. Let the disciples outside listen carefully to what's happening inside. Chi Mengdai heard this, and gritted her teeth in anxiety, but she had no way to counter it. After a moment of struggle, can only be ashamed, screamingly shouted, good brother. Sooner or later, I will tear you to pieces by myself. However, I also received detailed information about the Soling demon bone from him before returning. Back in the cave, suddenly, I heard 2 disciples roaring excitedly. The goddess Zhang Xianlin, who ranked 4th on the heavens mechanism list, has actually been replaced. What is the background of this Lu Hongyi? I suddenly stopped in my tracks. Then, with a smile on my face, I bought the Heavenly Secrets report from the hands of the 2 disciples. When I saw the detailed contents inside, my gaze immediately blurred. Lu Hongyi, seeking revenge for the deceased Chou Laoma, actually attacked the sect elders. He dispatched the Red Dust Sword sect. After reading the message, I felt a mix of emotions inside. I let out a helpless sigh. She really is a foolish girl. It turns out that many years ago, I happened to encounter Lu Hongyi, who was wiped out. When she learned that I had no relatives in this land either, Lu Hongyi blinked her eyes and looked at me. We are all alone now. Then in the future, shall we be family? I softly responded with an mm. In the future, we will be each other's family. Thinking of this, I quickly used my ability to send a message over a distance. I requested Tao Yao to help me search for Lu Hongyi's whereabouts. Before long, Tao Yao appeared in the courtyard. Senior brother, are you here in the moon viewing chamber with something on your mind? After hearing me mention that I miss my hometown a bit, Tao Yao immediately excitedly took my hands. Senior brother, the sacred land is your home. Both master and I are your family. If you ever miss home, you can come find me anytime. I gently patted Tao Yao's shoulder. He said with a smile, you are all my wings. Looking at me, Tao Yao's face flushed slightly. The senior brother seems to have changed a lot. He used to hide from himself, but now he is very close to himself. Thinking of this, Tao Yao gently tapped her foot. With my eyes closed, I felt a shy lick on my cheek. After stuffing the information I needed into my arms, Tao Yao covered her chest. Her face flushed, and she fled in panic. I stood there, completely stunned, thinking that I was just licked against my will. After trying to regain my composure, I began to examine the information in the letter. 3 days ago, Lu Hongyi appeared in the city of Chang'an in the eastern Zhou Tang Empire. He left behind only a sentence on the day he besieged the old demon Chu's family. If he is to be a Buddha, I will help him save all living beings. If he becomes a demon, I will lead him through the world. Upon learning of this, I accelerated my own cultivation pace. After all, my current strength is low. Even if I went to meet Lu Hongyi, I wouldn't be able to help at all. So I immediately began to practice the 9-character mantra I obtained in the Tai Su Divine Tower. I struggled with it for 2.5 days. I only had a superficial understanding of the form character in the 9-character mantra. At that moment, a woman suddenly appeared behind me. You're Chu Xiu, right? I am Elder Hua Luafei of Daoyun Peak. Looking at this woman in front of me, who has a beaming smile and a perfect figure and appearance, I was taken aback at first, but in the next moment, I discovered that she has the offspring seal of the mother seal within her. Could it be that Tai Suzy has changed her disguise to meet me? This is interesting. Thinking of this, I discreetly bowed to her. I have met Elder Hua. I wonder what brings you here again, Elder Hua. I happened to come to Yinxia Peak and found you here cultivating. I hope I haven't disturbed you. As she spoke, Tai Suzy sat down on the steps. From my elevated position, I couldn't help but glance over. Oh my, wow. The figure of this holy master is just incredible. Having nearly bled to death, I quickly sat down and changed the subject. Before the era of descent, every 100,000 years, a great emperor or demon emperor would appear among the human race or the beast race. Humans and demons fought from the primordial age to the era of descent. But why didn't the human race completely eliminate the demons when a great emperor appeared? And why didn't the demons completely wipe out the humans when a great emperor emerged? Looking at my puzzled expression, Taisuzi fell silent for a moment before slowly speaking. There seems to be a certain tacit understanding among emperors. Even if one side has a great emperor rise, although they can suppress, they must never use the power of a great emperor to annihilate the other. The reason behind this is unknown. But it is said that upon becoming an emperor, one will gain some secrets about this starry sky. From the ancient times to the primeval age, now in the current era of decline, this starry sky has seen a total of 17 tons of earth. But in the end, they all became advanced beings. Is it that the path ahead is cut off, or is there simply no path left to walk? This is worth our deep reflection. Speaking of which, Taisuzi slowly stands up, preparing to leave. Talking about these things now is a bit ambitious. It's better to go back and train seriously. Seeing this, I scratched my head and asked Sister Hua, will we have a chance to meet again? Taisuzi chuckled and said, after you come out of the wild demon's secret realm, Sister will still be here waiting for you. After bidding farewell to Taisuzi, I returned to my master's cave again. I want to ask for some cultivation resources. Chi Mengdai, sitting on the white jade throne, saw me appear. Her expression instantly darkened. Rebellious disciple, what do you want here again? Hearing this, I directly took out a jingling cat toy from my pocket. Why call me rebellious disciple? Hurry up and call me good brother. Seeing Chi Mengdai stubbornly refusing to give in, the cat teaser in hand starts to wander around. Master, your figure has become a bit fuller compared to half a month ago. Have you gained weight? Come here, let your disciple help you check your health. Chi Mengdai immediately flared up upon hearing this. She grabbed a soul from the table and threw it over. I have not gained weight. Get lost. But it was caught by me in one hand, and I bit it with a crunch at my mouth. Then my eyes lit up, as I smiled and asked my master, did you finish the item I asked you to make last time? When Yen Chi Mengdai quickly got up, and said the item was in the palace. I'll go get it right now. Moments later, I followed Chi Mengdai into the inner palace. As soon as I sat down, I casually set up a soundproof barrier. Seeing this, Chi Mengdai's body suddenly trembled. But she still obediently took out the items. Inside the red lacquered wooden box were 3 golden pigeon eggs. I gently pressed one, and it surprisingly started to tremble on its own. The sound of gears grinding buzzing. This craft is quite good. The master fairy scoffed, curling her lip. It's just a trivial trick of mortals, not even a single array pattern. That may be true, but seeing the disciple's astonished expression, there was still a hint of pride in the master's beautiful eyes. But Chi Mengdai raised her eyebrows. Disciple, what are you doing this for? These have absolutely no practical value. Hee Chu Xiu smiled gently, looking at the increasingly radiant smile on his face. Fairy, master, I don't know why. I suddenly feel a bit uneasy inside. What exactly do you want to do with these? Chu Xiu blinked her pure big eyes, and answered a question that wasn't asked. Master, you truly are a 3,000-year-old treasure girl. Chi Mengdai's pretty face instantly turned cold. What do you mean 3,000 years old? Am I old? No. Strong warriors can live for 6,000 years. You are still in your prime. Naturally ageless. When Yen dreams of butterflies, the fairy's complexion has improved a lot. Chu Xiu rubbed his hands, taking out a circle of black, thread-like objects from his storage bag. Chi Mengdai was surprised. Her beautiful eyes fixed on the rebellious, staring at the thing he took out. It's the connecting material of the cave spider's silk. Usually, this material is used for weaving. It's soft and resilient. It has certain protective properties. The fabric of your clothing, reverse path, is made from this material. Master, you understand so well. Today, I'll teach you how to weave something fun. I don't want to learn. I'm not interested. Chi Mengdai shook her head. Her delicate face was full of wariness. Do you still want to unlock your cultivation? Chu Xiu turned his head and asked with a smile. Hearing the unmasked threat from the rebellious disciple, Chi Mengdai pursed her red lips, struggling to say, this word is unruly. What are you waiting for back there? In 2 hours, Chi Mengdai was lost in thought, holding a piece of black gauze. Chu Xiu stroked his chin. Your skills. If it were in another place, you would definitely be a master tailor. Put it on. Go ahead. This thing can be worn. Master doesn't understand. Of course, Chu Xiu grinned, laughing in a way that is hard to describe. He pointed at the thing in his hand, then pointed at the long, well-proportioned legs under his skirt. Chi Mengdai lowered his head. He still didn't know what the rebellious disciple wanted to do. A pretty face gradually turns crimson. A roll of black silk is thrown at Chu Xiu's face. Chu Xiu catches it. With a strange smile, it seems the master knows how to dress. Come on, don't be shy. Such a strange object. I won't wear this. You think who I am, you rebellious disciple. 5 minutes later. In the end, I chose to compromise. Thus, the first tier black silk in the Sky Dome continent was born. Perhaps even the old demon herself doesn't know that in the future, the female cultivators of the Sky Dome continent will completely change their dressing style because of her mischievous taste today. You rebellious disciple. The goddess is feeling shy. Her cheeks are flushed, constantly cursing. So you made me do this. Just to bully me. You traitor. I'll fight you. In a little while. I was wrong. A few hours later, dusk falls. Chu Xiu leaves the Wind Master Hall to take a walk down the mountain. His shadow is stretched long behind him. Congratulations, host. 9 layers of the wheel C, aptitude 1,414 days, cultivation speed 33 times. Indeed, the effect of the heavenly fragrance body increases with the mood of the master. Small props still have a big effect. Just returned to the cave dwelling. The junior sister Tao Yao came to seek an audience. She brought the 8 trigrams treasure meal bestowed upon Chu Xiu by the Holy Emperor. After Chu Xiu accepted it, she smiled charmingly and said, this is the heavy sword you asked me to find for you, senior brother. As she spoke, she waved her delicate hand. The hilt was carved with a vividly lifelike black wild beast, the azure dragon. The heavy sword had no edge, giving off an extremely domineering and weighty aura. The main character took it. He couldn't help but feel heavy. Its weight exceeds 20,000 pounds. It slammed down onto the ground. The surrounding mud and stones cracked for several meters. One can imagine its terrifying weight. At this moment, the system also popped up the item description. Overlord sword, Sanglong heavy sword, or rogue weapon. Function to inject primal force or true primal force. Can significantly increase slashing damage. This sword is crafted from the core bone of the ferocious beast, the azure dragon. Extremely tough and heavy. It is a domineering heavy weapon. If the physical strength is insufficient, forcing its use is likely to cause the body sheath to shatter. Indeed, Chu Xiu casually wields the domineering sword, azure dragon. Very satisfied. A fierce gust of wind rises. It bends the trees dozens of meters away. As long as you are satisfied, Master Brother. Tao Yao smiles. She does not forget to remind her Master Brother. When you go to the wild demon secret, be extremely careful. The secret realm opens once every few decades. There are many and wild beasts within. The fog is too dangerous. Thank you, junior sister. Guayo Chu Xiu smiled gently. He patted her head. Tao Yao's pretty face turned slightly red. She lowered her head, nervously twisting the edge of her skirt with her delicate hands. Then junior sister can rest assured. Senior brother, your complexion doesn't look good today. It must be due to your hard training. Chu Xiu corrected. He was touching his incredibly handsome face. He thought to himself, it's just been a few hours of continuous training with master. Why does my complexion look bad? Last time junior sister went on a mission outside the sacred land. By chance, I obtained a concentration flower. It has the effect of enhancing focus during cultivation. I'll give it to my senior brother. As he spoke, he took out a long, black wooden box. It was still flowing. It emitted a strange light. The box opened. Inside lay a white flower with its roots still covered in soil. The flower god resembles a rose, but its petals are 2 to 3 times larger than those of a rose. A refreshing and serene floral fragrance fills the air, extending for 1,000 meters. The bright divine flower is a heavenly treasure, capable of uplifting one's spirit and calming the mind. It has the effect of accelerating cultivation. It is a primary ingredient for the 7th grade nether god pill, introducing the extremely precious genius treasure. Female cultivators often give it to their beloved as a symbol of protection. If a female cultivator gives you this flower, if you do not love her, please kindly refuse. Thank you, little junior sister. Chu Xiu smiled. As a result, Tao Yao has a charming face that is rosy, with a pair of watery peach blossom eyes, full of shyness. Lowering her head, her crystal clear lips are lightly pursed. She fidgets for a long time. Her ears are all red. It seems she wants to say something. It's really embarrassing. Transforming into a streak of blue lake light and flying away. Take care, senior brother. Junior sister will wait for your return. The clear voice echoes in the mountains. At this moment, our dream butterfly fairy is definitely having her happiest day, because her rebellious disciple has finally broken that damn seal. The dream butterfly fairy, dressed neatly in her palace, sits cross-legged in meditation. The vitality of the world surged into her body. This familiar feeling. It felt so good that she almost hummed. Ah, how wonderful it is to cultivate. How wonderful it is to mobilize the power within. How wonderful it is to feel this world. At this moment, he was like a blind man who had regained his sight. It feels like the whole world is so beautiful. Ah, Qi Mingjia's stunning face shows a look of surprise. During my seal, my cultivation actually improved. Could it be related to the rebellious disciple? I can't help but blush. Huh, rebellious disciple. You wait for me. Timing these eyes, like autumn water, flickered slightly. She prepared to sneak into the trader's lair to deal with him. The smile on the trader's face gradually turned sinister. But just as he was about to stand up, an invisible wave suddenly came from nowhere. The smile on Mingjia's face gradually froze, because she was horrified to discover that her cultivation had been sealed once again. Chu Xiu, you ungrateful disciple, you are not trustworthy. You deceived me, and he was tightly bitten. Her glossy red lips trembled. A layer of mist rose in her eyes. It looked like the master was about to cry from being bullied. A red transmission talisman flew through the air. It hovered in front of him. That familiar and annoying gentle voice came out. Master, please do not misunderstand. I am just reminding you. The sound transmission talisman immediately turned back, dispersing into the air. Then, the fluctuation came again. The seal was lifted. His cultivation was restored. Qi Mingdai gritted her teeth in her heart. He certainly knows what storing and repairing means. This is a reminder to himself. No matter how far the distance, he can seal himself at any time, control himself, and then toy with himself. The dream butterfly fairy is in tears without tears. Suddenly feels that nothing in this world is good. Intent, you devil. Tormenting devil. He was so angry the suburbs trembled. Waves surged. He stood up and approached the bookshelf, opened a hidden compartment, took out the scarecrow shaped like a storage jar, gripped a handful of silver needles and started to stab violently. Die, die. Traitor, die. True inheritance cave. Chu Xiu looked at the frenzied master in the image. Across the surface of the bronze lake, a smile of relief appeared on his face. Master, you really need to understand your position clearly. Otherwise, the disciple really won't know how to achieve. That person called Chu Xiu closed his eyes, focusing entirely on his cultivation. Little did he know that his master was on the verge of a breakdown. Just after venting for a while, Qi Mingdai regained her composure. Sitting cross-legged, she began to sense within herself. Then she was horrified to find a new life fluctuation inside her body. Could it be the tiny life that just came into being? Zai Mengdi's delicate face is blank. She gazes straight ahead. Her hands rest on her abdomen. Her mind is completely empty. She is the aloof goddess in everyone's eyes. Yet she is jealous of a girl running errands for the shop, simply because of that charming petite figure. A strange longing arises in her heart, and this matter is even more troubling for Chu Xiu. Using the surface of the bronze lake, he sees the current state of his master. He no longer knows what to do. Sigh, it seems I still need to be more settled during this time. I should focus on improving my cultivation speed. Prepare for the opening of the Heavenly Demon's secret realm. 7 days passed in the blink of an eye. After the Tasu Divine Tower was opened, the Holy Land is bustling again. Today is the day the Wilderness Demon's secret realm opens. A large number of disciples gather under the Taifu wind. They are waiting for the secret realm's portal to open. The main cultivator is also quietly standing among the crowd, watching Elder Mo Fian speaking to the crowd from afar. According to the rules of previous years, the secret realm will open for 30 days. After 30 days, the Holy Land can once again connect the teleportation passage. Within 30 days, you must gather at the initial teleportation point. Otherwise, you will be trapped in the secret realm for decades. You will have to wait for the secret realm to open again to return. Anyone who comes out of the secret realm must offer a certain amount of their gains. The top 10 on the contribution list will receive rewards. First place becomes a true disciple, reward second. Chu Xiu yawned out of boredom. Compared to these rewards, he didn't care about how many benefits he could get from the wild demon's secret realm. The most important thing was the soul evil demon fruit. Chu Xiu heard someone calling him. Chu Xiu turned his head. He immediately smiled and said, Brother Yi, it's you, the handsome and well-proportioned Yi Fan said with a smile. Brother Chu, are you also going into the wild demon's secret realm? Yi brother, aren't you the same? Going into the dungeon with the guy who has the protagonist's fate. I can't shake the feeling that this trip won't be peaceful. If used well, Yi Fan could definitely be an indestructible super cannon fodder. Chu Xiu's mind began to become active. The two began a friendly conversation. During this, Yi Fan asked Chu Xiu if he was interested in the contribution leaderboard. He subtly expressed a desire to be promoted from an inner disciple to a true disciple. Chu Xiu graciously replied that he was just going to the secret realm for training. He had no interest in proving himself. Yi Fan was very pleased to hear this, and asked Chu Xiu if he understood the wild demon's secret realm. Are you interested in teaming up, Yin? Chu Xiu readily agreed to this. With such a luck-boosting package, the chances of finding the Yin Soul Demon Bone might be greater. Yi Fan, come here. A cold voice interrupted. It cut off the conversation between the two. Chu Xiu and Yi Fan both turned to look at the source of the voice. It was a tall figure, dressed in a purple long dress with a veil covering her face. She carried the common burden of a woman. An overwhelming pressure radiated from her, creating a no-man's land within 100 meters around her. A group of disciples bowed their heads. I dare not look at him. Filled with awe. Brother Yi, my master is looking for me. I'll be going first. Yi Fan greets Chu Xiu. He smiles and jogs away. Chu Xiu squints slightly. He has already recognized the identity of this great sage powerhouse. The sword of immortal blood is also an enemy of Chi Mengdai. The great sage's second-tier cultivation belongs to the top of the Taizu sacred land, standing in the secret realm, looking for an opportunity to kill Chu Xiu. Hearing the master's transmission, Yi Fan's body trembled. He turned his head to look at the distant Chu Xiu, or perhaps noticing that their gaze is met with a wave and a smile from the other side. He transmitted to the master, "Is this really appropriate? I have no grievances with him. Besides, we are still from the same sect. He is quite a nice person. Humph, if I must blame someone, it should be his master, that scoundrel Chi Mengdai." Blood flowed with cold. His eyes were filled with icy coldness. Seeing Yi Fan's troubled expression, Blood spoke, with a slightly softer tone. "But that bitch Chi Mengdai is definitely not a good person. Her disciple is surely not a good person either. You don't need to feel guilty about killing him. Just remember to do it cleanly. Don't let them find any evidence against you. It's best to let him die at the hands of the wild beasts. That way, even if the Holy Lord reverses time, the outcome won't be discovered." Yi Fan was left speechless and bleeding. They were discussing how to kill Chu Xiu. On the other side, Jian Lingyun and Xiao Weifang were doing the same. "Aren't you, Chu Xiu, invincible among your peers? Then we'll send 100 divine bridges to kill you. 100 won't do. Then how about 200? Even with 300, no matter how many heads and arms you have, you will still fall in the wilderness demon's secret realm. Everything is ready." Watching the hundreds of divine bridges disperse, the disciples of the realm saw Lingyun and Xiao Weifang exchange smiles. "Brother Xiao Weifang, you are indeed brothers. Is it really okay for you to do this? Aren't you afraid that after Chu Xiu dies, Lord Yin Shifeng will be furious? Right now, he is your genius, a prodigy and the holy son. They want to select Xiao Yi." Feng Senran smiled. "A dead genius is no longer a genius. Dead brothers are the best brothers. Taoist, your sword is soaring. What you're doing can easily be noticed by the Holy Lord. After all, you have open conflicts with Chu Xiu. Aren't you afraid the Holy Lord will investigate?" Jian Lingyun remained calm and composed. A smile is nothing but a chuckle. "This matter was originally ordered by my master. So what if the Holy Lord knows about it? Would he really punish my master for a mere ant from the wheel sea? I see." Thinking of the enmity between my master and Tianjian Peak, Xiao Weifang nodded in understanding. The smile on his face grew wider. "I feel incredibly. This time, Chu Xiu, this ant, is definitely doomed." Senior brother Chu Xiu, Chu Yanran found Chu Xiu in the crowd. She handed him a storage bag. "All the formation materials you need are here." "Thank you." Chu Xiu put away the storage bag. Then Qinghe asked about his mother. "The poison of the famous demon is." Chu Yanran is very grateful, and expresses that when Chu Xiu returns from the secret realm, she will invite him to her home as a guest. At this time, her senior brother is approached by her junior sister Tao Yao, dressed in a green skirt. Seeing him come over, the disciples in front show signs of caution. Everyone stepped aside. Tao Yao's peach blossom-like eyes glanced lightly at Chu Xiao beside Chu Xiu. Chu Xiao smiled and said, "I, Xiao, have met senior sister Tao Yao." Tao Yao smiled lightly and acknowledged. "Sister Xiao is even more beautiful now. Hee, just a little bit more beautiful than senior sister Tao Yao." Chu Xiao remained calm and composed, confident and poised. The two women face off immediately, with sarcastic remarks. To this, Chu Xiao merely yawned in boredom. She had no intention of mediating. The teleportation array has been activated. Qualified disciples, quickly enter the teleportation array. Mo Fian's voice echoed from afar. In the next moment, a blue pillar of light shot up into the sky. 100-meter-high gate of light appeared. In the center of the gate, a blue vortex formed. "Junior sisters, I'll go first." Before Tao Yao could finish her words, Chu Xiu was already in motion, compressing the form into a tiny inch. In an instant, they crossed a distance of kilometers. With a few quick movements, they entered the teleportation portal. Other disciples also rushed in. They entered one after another. Tao Yao stamped her foot. She pouted. "Really, senior brother? Why are you in such a hurry? I haven't finished speaking yet." In the secret realm, there is something that senior brother Chu Xiu urgently needs. Naturally, he is anxious to go in. Chu Xiaoran smiled sweetly and said, "Chu Xiaoran, stay away from my senior brother. Don't act like you know him so well." Tao Yao's expression darkened. The murderous intent in her eyes was unabashed. There was not a trace left of the cute demeanor she had when she first saw Chu Xiu. "Sister Tao Yao, what do you mean by this?" Chu Xiaoran furrowed her brows. "Brother Chu Xiu and I are just friends. It's not as sordid as you think. Why should I stay away from him? Even if you are a senior, you shouldn't be so overbearing." Tao Yao's tone was icy. "I am overbearing. What, do you want to die too?" The two women locked eyes. Chu Xiaoran suddenly smiled. Her beautiful eyes suddenly moved, and she said to Sister Tao Yao, "Do you know what you look like right now?" Tao Yao frowned. "You look like a du-fu. No wonder brother Chu Xiu ran away so fast earlier." In the next moment, Tao Yao struck with fury. A punch aimed at Chu Xiaoran's head. The momentum was terrifying. The ripples even pierced through space. Chu Xiaoran knew the opponent was powerful, but wouldn't fight head-on. This punch turned the air into petals, fluttering and scattering everywhere. She is the peerless fairy worshipped by thousands. She should be living a carefree and leisurely life. Until the appearance of this man, all her previous aloofness and pride completely vanished. Just now, Chu Xiu entered the teleportation portal. She felt a slip before her eyes. Her body was suspended, wrapped in an invisible force. Uncertain how much time has passed, a beam of light shines on the face. Chu Xiu opens his eyes. This is a square paved with diamond black stone, approximately the size of 2 football fields, surrounded by a blue light barrier. The scenery outside the barrier is unclear. Disciples of the Holy Land walk out from the light gate. Until the last disciple arrived, the light gate disappeared. 2,000 people gathered in the square. Very noisy. Everyone was chatting back and forth. Laughter was constant. It felt very relaxed, as if they weren't here for training, but to travel. As the light gate disappears, the still light curtain surrounding the square gradually fades away. At this moment, the scenery outside finally comes into view. Several miles beyond the square is a primeval forest, with towering ancient trees that several people can barely embrace. Arranged in an orderly manner, the beast roars through the forest. A raptor several meters long soars in the sky. Its cries echo through the heaven. Further away, one can see the outline of a hurricane stretching for tens of thousands of miles. The grandeur and might are overwhelming. This world gives a sense of wildness, yet it is filled with life everywhere. Wow, how vast must this wild and mysterious realm be? I heard my master say, the diameter of the wilderness demon's secret realm is about 10 million miles. 1/20th the size of the southern region. That's so vast. A large area means more opportunities. Is anyone forming a team? Let's team up to hunt for treasure. Somebody is calling out. Chu Xiu's assistant gazed into the distance. His brows gradually furrowed. He could clearly sense the killing intent coming from around the teleportation square. There are indeed quite a few who want to kill me. I don't think I've offended anyone, right? Chu Xiu helplessly rubbed his forehead. Jia, could you be a bit more useful? Almost 100 disciples of Shen Xiaojing were subtly surrounding Chu Xiu. Chu Xiu gave a light sound. He was too lazy to involve Yi Fan, the protagonist. With a wave of his hand, a silver shuttle the size of a thumb elongated against the wind, eventually transforming into a shuttle shape over 10 meters long and a few meters wide. He jumped onto it. Whoosh, he became a silver blur, soaring into the sky. He escaped, but he couldn't escape. We chased dozens of African ships soaring into the sky. heading in the direction where Brother Chu disappeared. Looking up at the sky, Yi Fan's eyes flickered, and he sighed softly. Brother Chu, I don't want to lay hands on you, but I can't stop others from doing so. Sorry. Brother Chu, who controls the silver shuttle, has thick black hair, blown by the wind, drifting back over the continuous high mountains. Turning to look behind, the pursuer's lips curl into a smile. It's truly a long-lost feeling. Ahead, a giant black eagle beast lets out a sound, flapping its wings, perched nearby. With a metallic gleam, sharp claws reached for Chu Xiu's head. It aimed to tear his skull apart. Extremely vicious. Chu Xiu remained calm. He formed a sword with his fingers. With a flick in the air, a beam of sword light shot out. The giant eagle was taken by the blood mist dissipates. What level of African is he digging up? The speed is incredible. Looking at the increasingly distant silver shuttle, a disciple from the 7th level of the Divine Bridge couldn't help but curse. Suspended grade African. There's no way it's this fast. Could it be a lower grade shuttle? How else can we track him? Don't worry, before we set off, Senior Brother Jianling Yun gave me a breath tracking compass. I've already locked onto his aura. Even if he escapes to the ends of the earth, it won't matter. In 7 days, deep within the wilderness demon secret realm, in a certain lush valley, there will be continuous rumbling explosions. The mountains are shaking. The mountains shattered and rolled down, startling countless flying birds. Chu Xiuzheng is fighting a giant python beast over 10 meters long. This beast is covered in black scales. Its defenses are extremely strong. There is a faint trace of quasi-demon emperor bloodline within it. The spirit mushroom has it's very difficult to deal with it. Shen Xiao, at the 9th level of cultivation, fought against Chu Xiu for over half a moment. He was beaten until he was covered in wounds. The wounds were hideous. Blood stained the waters of the cold pond not far away. Chu Xiu kept circulating his energy. He prided himself on his astonishing speed. Whether the giant python lunged with its tooth-filled mouth, or swung its massive tail, all easily evaded by him. Seizing the opponent's attack gap, Chu Xiu gripped the handle of the boss sword, Sanglong. Golden energy surged throughout his body. He struck fiercely at the giant python's head. Boom crack. The giant python's head was damaged. Blood mixed with white brain matter spurted out. He threw his head back and let out a roar. His head bent down. He crashed to the ground. No longer a sound. The main character sheathed the 8th sword. He walked to the edge of the cold pool. He picked a cold lotus flower that emitted an enticing fragrance. He contemplated whether to exchange it for a breakthrough point. Congratulations, host. You have earned 70,000 breakthrough points. Please choose a breakthrough suggestion from the following options. Suggested options are decisive. Everything can be refined. The law acts in secrecy. The detection in the 3 classics has found that the character's secrecy level is too high. The difficulty of the breakthrough is extremely high. 30 years constitute a small cycle. Each small cycle requires the consumption of 500,000 snacks to break through. Whether to break through is your choice to seclude yourself for 30 years. To comprehend the secret of the walking character after a long search. Due to your master's constitution, your cultivation talent has improved. In an instant, the understanding of the walking character surged into your mind like a flood breaking through a dam. The intense impact made Chu Xiu frown slightly. The good news is, he now uses the movement technique more naturally and smoothly. Chu Xiu stood up. He activated the movement technique and shrank the distance. In the next moment, he appeared 5 kilometers away. Chu Xiu couldn't help but smile. He felt that spending 500,000 breakthrough points was worth it. Chu Xiu gazed to the west. He activated the movement technique and disappeared from his original spot. 100,000 miles away in the sky, above the valley where he had previously fought the giant python, Chen Mufan frowned as he glanced at his 4 teammates present. It had been 7 days, and they had gained nothing. They had been trailing behind Chu Xiu for 7 days. Damn it, where exactly is this Chu Xiu going? Meanwhile, there was a towering mountain, barren of any vegetation. The black, jagged rocks of the mountain are shrouded in gray mist. Visibility is extremely low. A chilling atmosphere prevails. The cries of ghosts and wolves echo. Faint shadows flicker in the distance, which is quite eerie. Chu Xiu looks up and gazes ahead. His intuition told him that the mountain was very dangerous. However, he was not worried. With his right hand, he formed a seal. He inscribed hidden symbols on his body. After inscribing over 100 of them, he finally lifted his foot and stepped onto a black stone. The surface felt cold and stiff, as if he was stepping on a piece of ice. Chu Xiu continued to ascend. His figure gradually disappeared into the gray mist. A day later, he appeared in tattered clothes, his whole body surrounded by a chill. He stumbled down the mountain. It seemed he was seriously injured. Host, your luck is really leaking. That spirit cashew hasn't even matured yet. Chu Xiu took out a 5th grade healing pill and placed it in his mouth. He closed his eyes and sat cross-legged to recover from his injuries. Host, aren't you anxious? You worked hard to eliminate the conspiracy on the mountain and the zombies in Osaka, but the malevolent spirits and demon poison are still not mature. What a pity, the boy keeps chattering on. How delightfully malicious. The corners of Chu Xiu's mouth curled slightly. The blood-red robe of the demon flashed and disappeared. If it's not ripe, does that mean I have no way out? I can't believe you're actually planning to. You've got some guts. As expected of you, the old demon slayer, to challenge a master of the Divine Bridge realm. For the sake of the starving ancient sacred body. Little do you know, this act of playing dumb to eat the tiger unexpectedly planted endless troubles. Heavenly demon secret realm. In a dense forest filled with ancient trees, Chu Xiu looks relaxed, gathering spiritual herbs, holding a fruit in his left hand. He takes a bite. The juice is sweet and sour. Hey, brother Chu Xiu, you're here too. This surprised voice came. Chu Xiu turned around. 4 men and 1 woman are all disciples of the Divine Bridge sect. The leading man has even reached the 8th layer of the Divine Bridge. Chen Mufan, carrying a large black hammer on his back, looked around, with a big smile on his face. Brother Chu Xiu, what are you doing alone? Chu Xiu looked vigilant. He took a step back. You came to kill me too, didn't you? Chen Mufan secretly communicated with his teammates. Suppress the killing intent. Don't let him notice. This guy has cultivated a very powerful body technique. If he wants to escape, a few of us can't stop him. First, hold him steady. Wait for the others to arrive. Then we can encircle him. Chen Xixiao, after you hear this, give the orders. Chen Mufan looked at Chu Xiu in surprise. Chu Xixiao. What does this mean? Killing fellow disciples wantonly is a grave sin. Yes, Brother Chu must have been misunderstood. The young woman with a delicate appearance looks worried. Brother Chu, is someone trying to kill you? Who is it? Such audacity. How dare they hunt a true disciple? Please tell us. Maybe I can help you. The female disciple gently encourages. She looks just like a good-natured person. His expression softened a bit, but his eyes remained vigilant. I don't know exactly who it is. Anyway, there are quite a few people chasing me. Brother Chu, why not join our team? Even if we encounter pursuers, we can still defend you. Chen Mufan said. The others quickly echoed. They patted their chests, promising to help Chu Xiu. They all acted like real actors. Chu Xiu's frown gradually relaxed. With a smile on his face, thank you to my junior brothers and sisters for your intentions. I am deeply grateful. But let's forget it. As he said this, he showed a hint of shyness. I, Chu, do not wish for any of you to be harmed, or even lose your lives because of... A flash of black clothing appeared in Chen Mufan's eyes. The female disciple transmitted a cold laugh. This guy's personality is different from the decisive killer rumored. He's a bit kind-hearted. Yeah, he's actually worried about our safety. What a soft-hearted person. He probably wouldn't even know that we are among those chasing him. We can't blame him. Who told us that our performance was too realistic? Hi. Chen Wufan interrupted several people's telepathy. He cupped his fists toward Chu Xiu. Senior brother Chu is a genius who has broken the ancient limits. He will surely become the cornerstone of our Tai Su holy land in the future. We can all die, but you must not come to harm. Otherwise, the loss to the sacred land would be too great. Senior brother Chu Xiu, why don't we stay and help you? The others also clasped their fists sincerely. Chu Xiu was moved. He was incredibly touched. With all of you being so considerate, what am I to do? I feel ashamed for you, brother. Chen Wufan and the others exchanged glances. A strange flicker appeared in their eyes. Since that's the case, I will agree. Chu Xiu gritted his teeth, as if making a significant decision. Brother, there's no need to do this. We are all family in the Holy Land. Chen Wufan had red eyes. He was deeply immersed in the sea. Chu Xiu nodded continuously, leaning against the ancient tree. On the massive tree roots, he took out the drinks and grilled meat, and invited a few people to sit down. Chu Xiu took out the wine glasses, and poured wine for them. Chen Wufan and the others were also quite proactive. Showing no intention of eating or drinking, Chu Xiu raised his wine glass, and downed it in one go. Then he grabbed a leg of wild sheep, roasted to a golden brown, with a fragrant aroma. Biting down hard on a large piece of meat, it tastes delicious. Seeing that a few people hadn't moved, he curiously asked why they weren't eating. While speaking, he poured himself another glass of wine. He tilted his head and drank it all down. Everyone, don't be polite. Come and taste Brother Wei's cooking. A guy with a face full of pimples saw Chu Xiu eating so deliciously. He couldn't help but swallow. If the other person is eating so well, it shouldn't be poisoned, right? He grabbed a cup of wine and took a sip. His eyes suddenly lit up. Good wine, hee, right? This is fine wine from my master's cellar. I secretly took it out. Chen Wufan saw that his companions were fine after drinking. He also felt relieved. Plus, Brother Chu kept inviting them, in order to not reveal their disguised expressions. They also started drinking and eating meat. Brother Chu, did you grill this meat? It's really delicious. If it's delicious, eat more. If it's not enough, brother, there's more here. Chu Xiu smiled gently. The 6 leading actors clinked their cups. The conversation was lively. An hour later, Chu Xiu took out a handkerchief. He wiped the grease from the corner of his mouth. With a smile, he spoke. Everyone, listen up. The gazes of the 5 people shifted to him. How much benefit has the Sword of Wind and Rain given you, that you would go to such lengths to kill me? Upon hearing this, Chen Wufan's pupils slightly constricted. He grabbed the giant hammer beside him. In an instant, it smashed towards Chu Xiu. Chu Xiu activated his unique secret technique. In a flash, he disappeared from the spot. He reappeared by an ancient tree 100 meters away. The black giant hammer covered in barbs smashed into empty air on the tree branch. With a bang, it created a half-meter deep pit in the ground. The other 4 surrounded him. Their expressions were not looking good. Chen Wufan squinted. Coldly, he asked, when did you notice? Chu Xiu smiled gently, perched on a branch. Of course, it was when you all appeared. Our performance left no details overlooked, right? Yeah, but unfortunately, you all were too enthusiastic. He glanced at the 4 rushing towards him. Look inside your purple mansion's divine bridge and see for yourselves. Upon hearing this, Chen Wufan and the others they quickly looked inward. Sure enough, the purple mansion was already surrounded by some unknown black smoke. You poisoned the wine. The delicate female disciple's face twisted in agony. Chu Xiu smiled gently and waved his hand. I didn't put any alcohol in my poison. Ha, this is killing me. Our poison is definitely authentic. It won't be mixed with a drop of alcohol. Chen Wufan's face turned even uglier. What do you mean? Are you saying that what we drank was not alcohol at all, but poison instead? Clever Chu Xiu nodded. This is the forgetting worry brew I personally concocted. It tastes just like aged fine wine. Is the taste okay? Chen Wufan felt his body gradually go numb. His ability to mobilize his energy became sluggish. You're so poisonous, damn it. You're a smiling tiger hiding deadly intentions. The pockmarked face had red eyes, and was about to rush up to fight Chu Xiu. Seeing this, Chu Xiu remained calm. Do you all want to live? I can give you a chance. If there is no antidote in half a quarter hour, your bodies will turn to blood and water. During that time, you will experience unimaginable pain. Upon hearing this, the 5 of them felt a chill in their hearts. There's no need to wait even a quarter of an hour. The pockmarked face already felt unwell. It seemed like something was gnawing at her heart. The pain made her clutch her chest. Her face was pale. Speak your purpose. Chen Wufan said coldly. Chen Shidi is indeed a clever person. I am quite satisfied. I casually tossed a scroll to him. Just follow the instructions on it. There are 10 antidotes inside. They will keep you 5 safe for 3 days. After the task is accomplished, I will detoxify you. How do we know you will keep your word afterward? The new female disciple's face turned pale. He is starting to show symptoms of poisoning as well. Chu Xiu's expression was serious, with his palm facing up. I, Lang Sheng, swear in the name of my master. If I, Chu Xiu, go back on my word, then let the heavens curse my master, preventing any progress in his cultivation. What a serious oath. Chen Wufan and the others exchanged glances. They nodded, believing him. Chu Xiu, we've done it. I hope you keep your promise in the future. Rest assured, I, Chu Xiu, am a man of my word. We're just waiting for Wu Wei's good news. After saying that, he stood up. He activated his ability to shrink space, and instantly disappeared. These ignorant little brats dare to plot against our 6th brother. If we don't give them a taste of salt, how would they know it's sweet? Just now, the 5 great masters became docile after drinking some 8+1. Suddenly, they changed their behavior. Chu Xiu left. For less than half an hour, above the ancient tomb forest, a fleet from Africa quickly assembled. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Figures leaped down from Africa. They split into different directions. What's going on with Chen Wufan? A man in a blue monk robe, with sharp eyebrows and bright eyes stepped forward, throwing his brows. You actually let that Chu Xiu escape. Senior brother Yan, please calm down. The gazes of over 200 people around became unfriendly. It was as if they were ready to draw their swords and kill each other at any moment. That intense killing intent made several of Chen Wufan's teammates turn pale. Chen Wufan forced a smile. Please, let me explain. Just an hour ago, we encountered Chu Xiu here. That guy was too alert. He took off running. His movements were incredibly fast. We couldn't catch up to him. Senior brother Yan from the Divine Bridge's 9th level was dissatisfied. Then why did you ask us to come here? Chen Wufan's expression became serious. He took out a leather scroll from his bosom. That scroll was there when Chu Xiu escaped. This item has fallen. What is this? Everyone turned their curious gazes. It's related to the wonders of heaven and earth, Yin souls and demon fruits. See Chen Wufan. As soon as these words were spoken, a gasp of surprise echoed around. Heavenly treasures, actually a mortal item, ghostly fruits and demonic items. Greedy eyes were cast upon the scroll in Chen Wufan's hand. They wished they could snatch it away immediately. Senior brother Yan looked surprised. Chen Wufan, you got this. Why don't you go pick the Yin soul demon fruit yourself? I don't believe you have such good intentions. What exactly are you trying to sell? Chen Wufan looked helpless. He tossed the scroll to Senior Brother Yan. Take a look. Senior Brother Yan caught it. Upon unfolding, it was a map. After seeing the markings clearly, I felt a sense of foreboding. At that moment, Chen Wufan glanced at Senior Yan. The place is called Ima Mountain. It's extremely dangerous. Just the 5 of us. The chances of falling are too high. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been invited here. Chen Wufan's tone was very helpless. Everyone is surely aware of the preciousness of the rare treasures of heaven and earth. Mature Soul cashews are truly divine products. Consuming one during the mid-stage of the palace realm can implant one into the divine power realm. Even if sold, it could fetch tens of thousands of divine essence stones. First, let's make it clear that to obtain the soul fruit, we 5 need to divide one more city. Otherwise, we'll suffer a huge loss. Chen Wufan had a pained expression. Seeing this, the group of disciples all laughed. They kept agreeing with him, but in their hearts, they were sneering. There are so many of us. You want to take another city. Aren't you just thinking nonsense? Senior Yan, let's set off. This map was obtained from Chu Xiu. What if that guy gets there first? A red-clad female disciple said anxiously. The others quickly echoed her. In fact, they weren't worried at all that Chu Xiu could reach Ima Mountain alone. How could he possibly handle the situation alone? Mainly, their people haven't all arrived yet. If one more person comes, then there will be one more person to share the benefits. That's why they are so passionate. Senior Brother Yan naturally understands the reasoning behind this. Stan nodded for a moment and said, let's set off. A group of people looked excited. They set foot in Africa, heading towards the direction of the Shadow Demon Mountain on the map. Chen Wufan exchanged glances with the other 4. They also reached the summit of Africa. Hidden in the shadows, Chu Xiu smiled faintly. Still not moved, huh? Old Demon Chu cunningly followed along. A few hours later, Senior Brother Yan and his group of 231 people arrived at Ima Mountain. Looking at the mountain shrouded in grey mist, everyone's expression became serious. Fortunately, there were many people, which gave them courage. After not waiting too long, they began to ascend the mountain. This grey mist isolates spiritual consciousness, so everyone should not disperse too much. The leader, Senior Brother Yan, instructed aloud. Don't worry. Senior Brother will be here in an hour. The group arrived at the halfway up the mountain. A rather good-looking female disciple smiled and said, is the Yin Demon Mountain really that dangerous? We've encountered not many Yin demons or zombies along the way. Wong Shimmy, don't be careless. Be careful not to capsize in the shadows. Alright, Wong Shimmy stuck out her tongue. She looked relaxed. The others didn't think much of it either. They reached halfway up the mountain. They only encountered about 10 shadow demons and 2 bridge zombies. That's not enough for over 200 of them to each take a hit. Keep moving forward. As the distance to the summit decreases, it becomes increasingly chilly, and the density of the grey mist rises. The number of dark spirits is also increasing. Fortunately, it's still within a tolerable range for everyone. Just as they are about to approach the summit, Chen Wufan and the others sneak towards Tori. Take advantage of the grey mist to escape down the mountain. Chu Xiu has made such a big deal. He let them lure people here. If there are no traps inside, they themselves wouldn't believe it. Ima Mountain is not a place to stay long. Let's get out of here. As for selling out teammates, will there be a psychological burden? My own life is the most important. Let others die, it's fine. Brother Yan and his group quickly arrived at the mountaintop. At a glance, they spotted a strange plant growing in the cracks of the black rocks 1,000 meters away. The plant looked like a tree and also like a spiritual herb. It was about 2 meters tall. Its trunk was pale, like the bones of a human body. Very eerie. On the only branch hangs a fist-sized, pale red, baby-like bizarre figure, occasionally emitting the laughter of a baby, sending chills down one's spine. Upon seeing this, not only did everyone not feel scared, each person's eyes widened in amazement, excitedly trembling all over. A seductive ghost. It really is a ghost cashew. Someone exclaimed in surprise that we struck gold. We've struck gold. Ha ha ha. We've struck gold, and immediately someone couldn't help but rush over. Wait, Brother Yan furrowed his brows. Everyone, don't rush. This soul cashew's color is off. It's not ripe yet. I've seen an illustration of ripe soul cashews in ancient texts. A ripe soul cashew should be blood red, and it will emit a sacred aura. If one consumes an unripe soul cashew, it won't bring any benefits. Instead, one will perish from the soul's dark energy. What should we do? We have limited time in the wilderness secret realm. It's impossible to wait for it to ripen naturally. We might as well pick it first and then decide. A group of people surrounded the eerie spirit, whispering. Murmurs filled the air. Boom, boom, boom. Just as everyone hesitated, unsure of what to do, 4 red pillar-shaped beams shot up into the sky, enveloping everyone within. Flecks of light sprinkled down, magnificent and dreamy. Brother Yan looked up at the sky. His expression changed drastically. Not good, this is a trapping formation. Hurry and escape. He moved extremely quickly. He couldn't care about anyone else. He turned into a blur, wanting to charge down the mountain. With a muffled thud, in the next second, his body was knocked back at an even greater speed. The edge of the halo seemed to have an invisible wall. It completely isolated them from the outside. The formation closed in. Red mist surged up from the ground. A group of people wielding various weapons were just about to attack the formation, when the red mist seemed to come alive, and entered their bodies through their mouths and noses. Their originally bright eyes became confused, and gradually turned blood red. A female disciple of the illusion formation screamed. The shrieking female disciple had her head severed by a single strike. The person who lost the sword has a twisted face, laughing maniacally. I'll kill you, beast. You are the one who caused my mother's death. Kill, kill, kill. The evil spirits and sorcery are killed. Kill, kill. That is my rare treasure of the world. You are not worthy of possessing it. Kill. One by one, heads flew up. Blood sprayed like a fountain. In the formation, the sounds of killing shook the heaven. Disciples who were hit turned against each other. The peak of Ima Mountain instantly became a hell of slaughter. It was extremely bloody and tragic. No, with a hint of clarity remaining, Senior Brother Yan turned his head and looked around. His face showed terror. He looked completely in disbelief. No, this isn't right. Everyone, stop. Unfortunately, the crowd trapped in the illusion could no longer hear any other voices. He is a man who values emotions and loyalty, yet he is willing to relinquish what he holds dear. Little did he know that his good deeds brought endless calamities upon others. Continuing from the previous episode, the slaughter continues. Even Senior Brother Yan has been dragged into the illusion, joining the ranks of the killers. As a disciple of the Ming god, Xiao Jing falls. The vibrant blood does not seep into the ground. As if they had gained spirituality, they gathered together, rushing toward the roots of the ghostly fruit tree. The fruit tree, originally as pale as human bones, turned blood red after absorbing human blood. That already eerie ghostly fruit became even more content, as laughter echoed through the mountains, sending chills down one's spine. In the midst of the waving, a pair of eyes emitting a strange red light quietly observes everything, cold and devoid of any emotion. He intends to use these bloodthirsty fiends to hasten the ripening of the ghostly demon fruit. Meanwhile, on the other side of the wild demon secret realm, similar undercurrents are stirring. In front of a verdant mountain hollow, 2 inner disciples of Daoyun Peak are surrounded by 7 dog demons. They wield spiked wolf-tooth clubs, a grim smile on his face. A dark tongue licks the corner of his mouth. It's been many years since I tasted human flesh and blood. This delicious flavor. The leading dog demon waved his hand, coldly ordered to kill them first, to avoid any changes that might delay the leader's important task. We all have to die well. The two disciples of Daoyun Peak looked pale. Their hands, gripping swords back to back, were trembling. Their cultivation level was only at the 9th layer of the Wheel C. Yet these 7 demon beasts were all at the Divine Bridge realm at the weakest. The leader was even at the later stage of the Divine Bridge. Don't come any closer. My master is a disciple of Elder Daoyunfeng. Fierce but timid inside. He hadn't finished speaking. 7 dog demons suddenly lunged at him with grins. Aya, the screams echoed in the valley. In an instant, they were torn to shreds, paralyzed with fear. Blood and entrails were scattered all over the ground. Such a scene, happening all over the wild demon secret realm. The demon clans that once fought separately to survive, unknowingly gained immense power, and actually united, bringing tamed wild beasts, continuously hunting. The disciple of the Taizu Holy Emperor, Su Rushua, with her white clothes stained in blood. At this moment, she no longer resembled the graceful figure from the Taizu Square. He carried his severely injured and dying junior sister, fleeing through the ancient forest. A dozen or so fierce-looking and very demon riders on wild beasts, shouting out, screaming excitedly as they chase after him. Catch him, ha ha ha. This female human is tender and delicate. Brothers, let's play with her for a couple of days first. Then we'll eat her. He can't escape. Su Rushua is pale due to excessive blood loss. Her delicate face is unusually pale, bitten by the red essence. She activates a secret technique to burn her vitality. Her speed increases further. He would rather take his own life than fall into the hands of these beasts. Senior sister, sure. Let me go. You should escape quickly. The junior sister on his back is barely breathing. In a critical moment, he doesn't want to drag down his senior sister. He only hopes that when the demon tribe eats him, it can buy a little time for his senior sister. Shut up, Su Rushua. Just drink. I promised my master to safely bring you back. He gritted his teeth, not hating the demon, only hating himself for being too weak, unable to even protect his junior sister. Under the sky, a giant eagle measuring 10 meters. The cold eyes overlook below, ready to pounce at any moment, not giving Su Rushua a chance to escape to Africa. The hunt continues. On the peak of Enro Mountain, Chushio's eyes slightly move, looking towards the formation. No one has survived. More than 200 corpses. The death is grim. They left in unrest. The blood on the ghostly fruit trees fades away. The color of the cashew becomes more vibrant. The red mist is thick, emitting bursts of fragrance. The eerie laughter of babies grows clearer and louder. It still needs some vitality to mature. Chushio frowned. He stood up and quickly walked down the mountain. He had set up a trap formation, a killing formation, and a mirage formation here. He wasn't worried that anyone could take his peaches. Senior brother Chen, something happened on the mountain, right? Min tested her saliva. Her face was filled with horror. The others also looked pale. Chen Wufan's expression was not good either. The shouts and cries from the mountain peak were deafening. They couldn't avoid hearing it even if they wanted to. Will the shouting and killing stop? Do you think Senior brother Yen and the others are all dead? The 5 exchanged glances. All were speechless. The horror deep in the eyes cannot be concealed. Chushio is skilled and ruthless. Will someone like him provide us with the antidote? A few faces are filled with sorrow. Chen Wufan gives a bitter smile and sighs. At this point, we can only choose to trust him. Just then, a tall figure walked out of the gray mist. Her robes billowed gracefully. Her hair fluttered gently. Her face was like a jade crown. Her eyes shone like stars. A smile played at the corners of her lips. Her demeanor was serene, as if she were immortal. She seemed like a charming figure stepping out of a painting. Seeing the 5 people, Chushio smiled and asked why you all aren't going up the mountain. The corners of the 5 people's mouths twitched, cursing silently in their hearts. Those who went up are all dead, right? You sinister person. You really are no good. You even want to kill us. Brother Chu, we have brought you here now. Can you help us with the antidote? Chen Wufan suppressed the urge to curse, forcing a smile as he approached him and cupped his hands. Shushi's bright and clear eyes looked at him. He was just about to draw out the 3-meter-long treasure, to let the 5 senior brothers enjoy it. A flurry of hurried and chaotic footsteps carries a strong aura of approaching from afar. The speed is astonishing. The 6 of them looked over in unison. Their expressions slightly changed. More than 20 of various appearances were herding 8 massive. They were rushing towards them, coming this way quickly. Charging at the front is a wild bull. It stands about 10 feet. Its body is 5 to 6 meters long. The aura is overwhelming. The bloodthirsty aura is terrifying. On its broad back are tied 7 or 8 bloody corpses. They seem to have just died. It spot several people from the storage repair team. The demon clan rejoiced wildly. Strange laughter echoed from their mouths. The human clan discovered again. The human clan laughed heartily. For the tribe. For freedom. Kill, kill, kill. Chushio remained expressionless. He had been in the wild demon secret realm for nearly 10 days. It's my first time encountering the demon race. It seems that these are specifically hunting human cultivators. And the strength of the demon race is not weak at all. The weakest among them are at the divine bridge level. Those 8 wild beasts are also very intimidating. The wild bull charging in the front has a pair of black horns pointing to the sky, 2 to 3 meters long. Extremely sharp. Lamp-sized blood-red eyes. White steam puffing from its nostrils. Very fierce. Chen Wufan gripped the hammer's handle with a serious expression, preparing for battle. Their team is quite capable. Although they are terrified inside, they still suppress the urge to flee. Fortunately, they are preparing to fight. Chushio narrowed his long eyes slightly. With a wave of his right hand, he grasped the 3-meter-long dominant sword, Azure Dragon. He called out to Chen Wufan with a greeting. Holding the giant hammer, he charged forward first. The ground was stomped into 2 deep pits. The 4 from Qinlin positioned themselves on the flanks. They charged alongside him. They fought bravely to the death. They had no intention of fleeing. They probably couldn't escape at all. The demon clan wouldn't give them a chance. Only by fighting to the death will one avoid the fate of life and death. Crash. Chushio's operation takes form. Strange and intricate patterns spread beneath his feet. Holding the... It flies past the heads of the 5 people, leaving a long trail of afterimages. The black robe rustles loudly. How fast? Chen Wufan exclaimed. On the blade of the Overlord sword, the Azure Dragon sword, as Chu Xiuxin's essence is infused, black true patterns gradually illuminate. It appears even more fierce and domineering, a sight of unparalleled pride in the world, carrying boundless killing intent. A thunderous strike landed on the brow of the 10-meter-tall wild bull. Its skull shattered into pieces. His forward momentum came to an abrupt halt. He even staggered back 7 or 8 meters. His limbs, like pillars of heaven, stiffened upright. A mournful howl escaped from his mouth. Blood flowed from all sides. He crashed to the ground. Dust rises into the sky. The wild bull at the peak of the divine bridge was instantly killed. Chen Wufan and the others were astonished. Chu Xiu's figure floated down lightly. He stood on 1 foot atop the wild bull's corpse. At his feet lay the corpse of a fellow disciple, eyes wide open in death. His gaze was indifferent. He looked down at the group of demon race rushing from behind. The corners of his mouth gradually curled up. He slowly raised the Overlord sword. The Azure Dragon once again unleashed a blood-red glow. The sword energy surged through. Like a tidal wave, it engulfed the demon clan along with 7 savage beasts. After a battle, Chen Wufan and the others sat on the ground, gasping for breath. Around them lay about 30 corpses of the demon race in disarray. Chu Xiu reached out his right hand and grabbed a pig-faced demon. The demon, with its bristles standing up like a chick, was lifted. The pig-headed demon, feigning death, realized it had been discovered, and struggled violently. Malicious and wicked. Let go of me, human. Otherwise, I'll eat you. Chu Xiu slapped him across the face. He is an ancient sacred body. How strong is his physical power? The pig-headed man was struck hard. His already chubby face became even more swollen. It looked like a monkey's butt. Looking into his indifferent eyes, I dared not struggle anymore. Why did you join forces with other demon clans to ambush me? The pig-headed man's gaze flickered, trying to concoct a lie to deceive this terrifying human. Cao Chuxiu raised his hand, and like tearing a curtain, he brutally ripped off the pig-head's ears. Blood splattered. The intense pain made the pig scream. Chen Mufan and the others saw this bloody scene, and their eyes twitched violently. If you dare to lie, I'll make your 5 into 4. Chu Xiu spoke in a gentle tone, but to the listeners, it sent chills down their spines. The pig-headed man's pupils tremble. Anyway, even if I tell you, you won't let me live. Chu Xiu nodded. He smiled and said, if you confess honestly, I can make your death a little more peaceful. Hi. Chu Xiu, senior brother, we can observe the pig demon's divine bridge. Then one can know all his affairs. Qin Minhua spoke hesitantly. Chu Xiu frowned. He did not respond. He had not reached the divine bridge. He couldn't complete his cultivation. The sea of corpses naturally cannot search for souls. These 5 are all at the divine bridge realm. He is capable of soul search. Of course, he knows that. It's just that he doesn't trust. It's safest to ask these 5 people himself. Chen Mufan tugged at his junior sister's sleeve. He shook his head at him. Senior brother, don't say too much. They have already witnessed Chu Xiu's terrifying combat power. The killing god Xiao Jing of the demon clan is simply like a harbinger of death. If he gets angry, the 5 of them wouldn't be enough for him to kill. The pig demon looked at Chu Xiu's eerie eyes, and couldn't help but tremble. He started to stammer. During this time, Chu Xiu kept observing his expression. If he dared to lie, he will immediately tear off the other ear of the pig's head. After hearing his account, everyone was taken aback. They all turned pale. In recent centuries, the desolate and chaotic realm, once suppressed by the great sovereign Taizu, has inexplicably seen the emergence of a demon clan from the other shore. He crushed all the demon clans in the realm with absolute power, become the great leader. Under his command, the demon race has been conserving their strength for hundreds of years, not clashing with the human cultivators entering the secret realm, just to take advantage of this opportunity. When the Taizu sacred land opens the secret realm, to break through the blockade with all the demon race, and escape this desolate demon land. The reason the secret realm hunts humans is not just for their flesh, it is also to eliminate future threats, to collect human blood essence, and set up a blood formation in the initial teleportation square. Using the teleportation portal of the Taizu Holy Land, it can transmit to the outside world. The secret realm is suppressed by the great emperor, the supreme wealth god Xiao Peak. Why were you, the great leader, able to break through to the other shore realm? Chu Xiu asked. He felt that this matter was definitely not simple. The witness demon secret. This broth seems quite deep. The big demon shook his head. With a face, I am just a small soldier. How could one possibly know these secrets? With a scoff, Chu Xiu's expression was blank. He swiftly removed the head from its body. A few drops of crimson blood splattered against his pale cheek, making him appear even more sinister. Zhu Zhu walked away calmly. Chu Xiu stood up, throwing the bloody pig's head aside, looking up at the horizon. It seems we need to hasten the ripening of the ghostly fruit at dusk. If we don't break through to the divine bridge realm, encountering that leader from the other shore would definitely be very dangerous. Brother Chu, can you help us with the poison? Chu Xiu turned around. Let's not rush to transport these bodies to the mountain top for now. Seeing his attitude, Chen Mufan felt a sinking feeling in his heart. He exchanged glances with his 4 teammates. They all understood that Chu Xiu would definitely not let them go. Chu Xiu, you have made a heavenly oath. Do you really want your master to be stuck at this level forever? Qin Ling's expression was fierce. Chu Xiu's laughter was quite strange. He stuck out his tongue to lick the blood from the corner of his mouth. He didn't care whether the Buddha could make any progress. He also didn't want to play along with these people any longer. You all are reasonable people. It's a pity that you could still live for a while longer. Chu Xiu said as he walked towards them. Chu Xiu, may you die a miserable death. Chu Xiu raised his hand and took out the Shenbing blood blue sword, stepping on the path of self-determination. His body moved like a ghost, pouncing forward. You evil fiend. Ah, the cold sword light crisscrossed. You will have a terrible death. You will be struck by heavenly thunder. Don't blame me. I only blame you for knowing too much. Spare me. Chen Mufan's face was pale, kneeling on the ground, begging for mercy. Senior brother Chu Xiu, I can be your servant. I only ask for my life. Please, don't kill me. With a swift motion, a merciless scarlet sword light swept across his neck, leaving a shallow scar of blood. Chen Mufan's gaze gradually dimmed. His expression was one of terror. He blasted, no longer making a sound. Chu Xiu stood alone among the corpses. His right hand forcefully shook off the blood from the emerald blood sword. He shook his head slightly. He had thought these few would resist. I didn't expect that a dignified disciple of the Holy Land wouldn't even dare to resist. It's truly disappointing. He began to move the corpses to the mountaintop to nurture the demonic souls, looking at the demonic fruit tree in a great formation, constantly absorbing blood. After a long time, Chu Xiu turned and descended the mountain. He begins his hunt. 2 days later, the Yin Soul cashew is finally about to ripen. It's finally ripe. In an unknown mountain hollow, Chu Xiu sits on a black rock. In front of him floats a diamond-shaped crystal. It displays a real-time image of the Yin Soul demon fruit at the peak of Yin Demon Mountain. The fruit glows with a rosy light. The aroma is overflowing. Just a whiff makes one feel relaxed. The whole body feels at ease. In the next moment, it feels like ascending to immortality. His current appearance is like the ginseng fruit from Journey to the West, filled with a divine aura. No trace of evil remains. The manifestation of evil transformation is the sign of the fruit maturing. He just stood up, ready to go back. His ears twitched. He immediately darted and hid behind a rock in the hollow. After a while, a familiar figure flew in from the distance, stepping on a sword. He stood on the rock where he had originally sat. Yi Fan held a beast skin map in his hand, his face filled with ecstasy. Or perhaps it was due to overwhelming excitement. Then I trembled all over. In the end, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. I found it. I finally found the treasure of the Quasi-Demon Emperor. A year ago, in the lower level of the Sacred Land Sutra Repository, I found a treasure map hidden in an unremarkable chi refining manual. This mysterious treasure map, I don't know who left it behind, actually records the location of the Quasi-Demon Emperor's treasure. At first, he did not believe it, until he entered the Wilderness Demon's secret realm. The map underwent strange changes. It radiated a glow, pointing to an unknown direction. He then made up his mind to search for this treasure location. The Wilderness Demon's secret realm is so vast. There are countless mountains. He found this place in just over 10 days. I have to say, the luck of the protagonist is truly extraordinary. Hidden in the shadows, Chu Xiu watched Yi Fan, who was blushing with excitement not far away. A slight smile appeared on his lips. The man only wanted to obtain the Yin Soul cashew in the secret realm, but unknowingly, he gained 2 rare treasures. Just as he was about to go to Yin Hun Mountain to pick cashews, a figure stepped in. Chu Xiu hurriedly hid in the shadows and observed quietly. He saw Yi Fan circling the mountain several times. Finally, he chose a valley. He took out a formation plate from his storage bag and began to break the formation. 3 hours later, the mountains tremble. The terrain rolls down. A place continuously spews out dragon energy and radiant light. A circular opening, 7 or 8 meters high, appears halfway up the mountain. Treasure, here I come. Yi Fan, flying on his sword in the air, smiles slightly. Without hesitation, he flies straight in. He didn't even notice a faster figure. Stepping in first into this dragon cave, Chu Xiu's expression was emotionless, though her movements were quick. She remained vigilant of her surroundings. As she went deeper and deeper into the vein, she lost track of how long she had been advancing. The dark cave gradually leveled out, slowing down the storage repair speed. Navigating around a few corners of the cave, ahead, dazzling rays of light fill the eyes. 1,000 years away is a spacious and high cave. Crystalline liquid drips onto the stone surface below, making a crisp sound. Those liquids are stalactites formed over millennia. Just a few drops left outside can fetch a sky-high price. What's most astonishing is the area around the cave floor. Clusters of spiritual herbs and precious medicines emit a pleasant fragrance. They are growing remarkably well. Their grades include mystic, earth, and heaven. Chu Xiu steps slowly into the cave. His gaze sweeps overhead. He is taken aback. Above his head, coiled a massive white snake. Its scales were about 2 meters in diameter, smooth as a mirror. The body coiled around him resembled a mountain peak, the white snake entwined, and was oblivious to the intruder hiding nearby. Chu Xiu was utterly shocked. From the aura emitted by this white snake, it was clear that it turns out to be the peak of the other shore realm. How is this possible? He didn't dare to alert the other party. While advancing, he collected spiritual herbs and treasures. The system's notification sound kept ringing. Ding. Your fortune has increased. Your fortune has increased by 15. Increased by 100, young man. I know why my luck has inexplicably increased. By intersecting the opportunities of those who control the protagonist's fate, I can increase my luck. Or rather, I can draw luck from them. That's right, that's right. If it weren't for you, Yi Fan would have obtained all the opportunities here by himself. He would surely soar to great heights. Earthly treasures, heavenly treasures, immortal treasures, eternal disgrace. These things can be sold outside. Even a spider can take off with them. Chu Xiu stroked his chin. He couldn't help but laugh. In the next moment, his smile gradually froze. His eyes were fixed on 2 objects hovering above a white jade platform about half a meter high in the center of the stone chamber. A palm-sized piece of blue stone emitted an ancient, wild aura. A dazzling blue light shines brightly. Another egg, red and black, is covered with strange patterns. Radiance lingers around it. Phenomena abound. It beats continuously like a heart. Intense life waves ripple out. It is exceedingly extraordinary. This egg is about the same size as an ostrich egg on Earth. Chu Xiu speculated that there must be some extremely powerful beings within. These 2 items are surely the most essential parts of this treasure site. Chu Xiu murmured. Without hesitation, he raised his hand and grasped the half-piece of the green stone mirror. It felt icy cold and extremely heavy. What kind of stone mirror is this? It's surprisingly extraordinary. He shook his head. He took a piece of fabric from his storage bag. He wrapped it up. He would study it further when he got back. A loud explosion echoed through the cave. Yi Fan triggered the stillness that Chu Xiu left at the entrance. The white snake awakened, letting out a thunderous roar. Discovering the intruder, it is filled with rage. The mountain shakes. Stones come tumbling down. Chu Xiu knows it's not safe to stay here. He quickly takes down the mysterious egg as well. With both hands, he forms a seal. Speed is as fast as a shadow. A series of needle-like marks that conceal the aura strike the 2 items, barely concealing them. The twilight carries the package on its back, self-annihilating in operation. With a whoosh, it transforms into a shadow and brushes out, emerging from the stone chamber into the cave. I saw a giant serpent with a single horn on its head, resembling a dragon. Its pupils glowed with a blood-red light. Its mouth, filled with sharp fangs, opened wide. It spat an extreme chill toward Yi Fan, who was looking horrified below. Chu Xiu did not linger. He activated his self-seeking ability. He avoided the giant serpent and disappeared into the entrance with Yi Fan. Faintly, they could hear Yi Fan cursing angrily in the cavern. Damn, I've hit rock bottom. Chu Xiu kept flying upward, rushing out. In an instant, he vanished into the woods. At this moment, Yi Fan, who thought he was going to die, was pleasantly surprised to find that the terrifying momentum of the white snake was rapidly weakening. The shining snake child of the white snake became vacant and weak. Yi Fan, covered in frost, felt a surge of joy. So you can't hold on either, huh? Ha ha ha, look at how I've captured this monster. With a sound, the gun was drawn. The long sword rushed up with a strange laugh. In an instant, the mountain shook and cracked. Chaos ensued. Elder Mo, this is bad. At Taisu Square, an anxious shout broke the silence. Mo Fian sat cross-legged in the void. Her figure was alluring like the wind in clouds. Her demeanor was mature and enchanting. Hearing a sound, she opened her phoenix eyes. She glanced lightly at the white-haired elder flying in quickly. With her slender brows raised and red lips slightly curled, she asked Elder Yang what was so urgent. Elder Yang, who is at the later stage of his supernatural powers, is considered a strong figure in the outside world. He would even be respectfully addressed as an immortal by others. But at this moment, he is sweating profusely. His face is pale from anxiety. He is in charge of monitoring the life tokens of the disciples entering the secret realm. These past 2 days have been just like usual. He took a nap. When he opened his eyes, he saw an extremely terrifying scene. Something big has happened. Something big has happened. Seeing Elder Yang in such a daze. Could it be that Yan's heart also sank? A large number of life tokens of the disciples entering the abyssal demon secret realm have shattered. What do you mean could it be? Yan grabbed Elder Yang tightly. How many have shattered? Elder Yang stared blankly. All 775 life tokens of Chu Xiu and Yi Fan have shattered, but their life tokens are still intact. Could it be that Mo Fian's face is as cold as frost? She is no longer as calm as before. Their life tokens have not yet shattered. And Mo Fian felt a slight sense of relief in her heart. She murmured to herself. The wilderness secret realm must have undergone a major change. So many disciples have died. This has never happened in previous years. This is urgent. I need to report to the Holy Master. At that moment, a portal opened in the space above Taisu Plaza. 2 graceful figures stepped out from the crack. The woman on the left wears a simple long dress. Her long, wavy blue hair falls naturally over her chest. Her posture is graceful and proud. She stands there with her eyes closed, as if she is the center of the world, beautiful and powerful. On the right is a woman in a white feather dress, slim with curves. Her appearance is stunningly beautiful. Having met the Holy Master Mianxiao, and the Lord of Clouds and Mist, Taisu Zi remains silent. Her clothing and sleeves make the space above the square ripple like water. Such a magical scene naturally draws the attention of other disciples in the square. Everyone looked up. What's happening? A powerful being is demonstrating supreme magic. Please, Holy Master. At this moment, Elder Yang wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. Mo Fian explained that the Holy Master is using the Eye of Illusion. The divine magic reflects the scenes in the secret realm of the wild demons. That is the secret realm crafted by the esteemed Emperor. Only the Holy Lord and such a holy king can achieve this level. Qi Mengdai looked up at the ripples in the void. At this moment, the mood of the fairy Mengdai was very complicated. She really didn't know whether to hope that Chu Xiu would run into trouble, or hope that she wouldn't. At the same time, in the secret realm of the wild, Chu Xiu was swiftly moving forward, transforming himself. He stood on a branch of a giant tree thousands of feet tall, looking up at the sky. I see a bloodshot eyeball in the azure sky, suddenly opening wide, blocking out the sun. restlessly moving around. Has anyone outside noticed the change in the secret realm? At this moment, not only the Holy Emperor Taisu, but also the disciples of the demon clan noticed that giant eye in the sky, sensing a hint of the Holy King's pressure emanating from it. Whether it is the demon race or the human race, they can't help but want to prostrate and worship. What is that? Is a powerful human going to take action against us? The demon race is horrified, shivering in fear. The disciples of the Holy Emperor Taisu, hunted by the demon race, are overjoyed, crying out for their parents. The Holy Emperor has finally caught the attention of a big shot regarding the secret realm scripture hall. Help! I don't want to die. The is the most loyal stronghold. On top of a towering black giant peak, a humanoid covered in red scales, with a strong build, is carrying a giant sword. He looks up at the sky. Behind him, someone is kneeling. Hundreds of with various postures, stared at the towering figure ahead, their eyes filled with fervor. That is their great leader. The great leader who will lead them to freedom. Don't worry. No one can attack us through the... Not even the Holy King. The human race can only watch us from the outside. They can't do anything. The great chief waved his scaly claws. He let out a strange laugh. Since they want to watch, then let them watch us slaughter the human race while being powerless. Ha ha ha. The demon clan let out excited howls. Kill all the humans. Revenge in the newspaper. The grudge of being imprisoned for thousands of years. Leaders of various demon clans are issuing orders to continue hunting the human race. Meanwhile, the great leader's crimson eyes flicker slightly. He reaches into his bosom and takes out a half piece of a glowing blue stone mirror. His expression is the treasure stone mirror has actually reacted. I couldn't help but burst out laughing, talking to myself. Could it be that the other half of the mirror is in trouble? Alright, I must find this treasure. The big leader was originally named Shasha. He was just an ordinary pangolin. Over 300 years ago, he had the fortunate coincidence to obtain this half piece of the azure stone mirror, a mysterious treasure. It has a great origin. It can actually shield part of the false power of the Taisu Emperor. Relying on his frosted mirror, he broke the boundary bone of the... He reached the peak of the dark realm. He was no longer restrained by the rules of the secret realm. From then on, he soared to great heights, unrivaled in the secret realm, sweeping across the land, unifying all demon races. Now sensing the existence of the other half of the stone path, Mo Sha is naturally delighted. If I can obtain the other half, and merge them into one, wouldn't I be able to break through to the Dao Palace realm? The erasing star's eyes grew brighter. He immediately ordered to prepare to personally lead a team to investigate. He wanted to find the other half of the stone mirror. Before leaving the wilderness demon's secret realm, Chu Xiu also sensed the fluctuation from the stone mirror. Sure enough, the other half was also in the secret realm. He moved slightly. He continued toward the direction of the demon mountain. While passing a small stream on the plain, he unexpectedly ran into Su Rushue, who was being chased by the demon clan. Chu Xiu instinctively quickened his pace, preparing to bypass her. Chu Laoma never engaged in heroic acts to save beautiful women. But the giant eye above might be watching him. If he turns a blind eye to death, then his plan to become the Holy Sun will surely fall apart. Thinking this, he waved his right hand. A dark, domineering sword, the Azure Dragon, appeared in his grasp. With his feet on the secret path, the temple of the Tao God emerged beneath him. In an instant, he brushed past Su Rushue. He charged towards the horde of demon clans that were howling and chasing after him. He is Su Rushue, carrying the already unconscious junior sister. A glimmer of golden light flashed in his despairing eyes. He suddenly cried out in surprise. A fleeting glimpse. He had already recognized who it was. That senior brother who was also at the peak of the Wheel Sea. He knew that the more than 20 demon clan members behind him were weak. It's all a matter of divine bridges. In his view, Chu Xiu charging up from the Wheel Sea realm isn't saving someone. It's going to his death. Is he planning to save me with his life? Su Rushue's feelings were extremely complicated. She didn't know whether to be touched. There was a loud bang from behind. An eye flew into the sky, mixed with broken corpses. Su Rushue turned back with great difficulty. He really didn't dare to see Chu Xiu's fate. But he had to look. In the next second, he was shocked to see Chu Xiu holding an exaggeratedly large black giant sword. With ease, he cleaved a mid-stage demon from the divine bridge in half. Then he struck down again, smashing a dog demon into meat paste. Taisu Square. The group of disciples who noticed this scene were also stunned. My heavens, is he a freak? He is a soft-hearted immortal who speaks otherwise. Watching his rebellious disciple facing dangers everywhere in trouble. Is he worried or gloating? At this moment, he isn't even clear about himself. Chu Xiu saved junior sister, and fiercely spotted the demon. The great speed square was in an uproar. Senior brother Chu Xiu should calm down. His slaughter of that group of demon clans was truly miraculous. His strength was like a meat grinder. The group of demon clans had no power to resist. As news of the changes in the wilderness demon secret realm spread, more and more cultivators rushed over. At Taisu Square, people gazed at the figure in the void, a presence both divine and demonic, wreaking havoc. Everyone couldn't help but exclaim in awe, Holy Master, please wait. We need to connect the secret realm's teleportation gate in advance, to allow the disciples to return early. Zaimengdi turned her head, and softly asked. Taisuzi gazed at Chu Xiu on the screen, her eyes filled with the birth and destruction of countless stars. It was as if she could see through the ages. Is his technique the result of long-seeking self-destruction? Holy Master, please refrain. Chi Mengdai saw that Taisuzi did not strike, unable to help but be reborn again. Taisuzi's red lips curled up. It was a smile that was not quite a smile. Why are you worried about your disciples' troubles? Chi Mengjia's pretty face flushed. She felt a pang in her heart. I'm not worried about that rebellious disciple at all. He is just worried about the safety of the other disciples. Don't worry, I have already made arrangements. In at most 2 days, the transmission portal will connect to the secret realm passage. But there are too many demons. I fear they won't be able to hold on for that long. Could it be that Yan Wenai interjects? If they can't even last for 2 days, that is too disappointing for me. Taisuko sighed lightly. In the secret realm of the wild demon, Chu Xiu grasped the last fan flute tightly. He squeezed his throat slightly, crushing his neck into a pulp. He casually threw the corpse of the mountain demon on the ground, then turned and walked towards Su Rushue. Su Rushue was in the suburbs, softening. He sat on the grass, holding his junior sister. His eyes widened in shock. Could it be that brother Chu Xiu is the reincarnation of a demon god? It's really too powerful. So powerful that it makes one tremble. Junior sister, are you okay? Chu Xiu showed a worried expression. Su Rushue shook her head. She opened her tired eyes. Her lips were chapped. Junior brother Chu's kindness in saving her life is something Rushue is deeply grateful for. You are seriously injured. Chu Xiu opened his palm, and took out 2 precious herbs to hand to her. The old demon appears, surrounded by radiant light. Fragrance wafts for miles. Taste the essence of the divine. Su looked shocked, her face like snow. Wow, the Taosu Square is also bustling. The disciples are clearly astonished by Chu Xiu's grand gesture. With a single move, he brings forth 2 earth-level blessings. This senior brother Chu is being too generous. I really want to be friends with him. There's no other intention. I just want to witness the blessings of the horizon. Senior brother, you must. The precious medicine is too valuable. Su Rushue shook her head repeatedly. She was unwilling to accept these 2 precious medicines. Chu Xiu was speechless. The only healing potions in his storage bag were these 2 worthless ones. Did he expect to have top-tier ones? He helped Su Rushue up. Su Rushue's originally pale face flushed with color. Chu Xiu's handsome face wore a smile warmer than the sun. He said gently, junior sister, there's no need to be polite. In today's adversity, the demon tribe is causing. There are numerous crises. If you don't heal your wounds soon, there could be great danger. If you don't think of yourself, you should at least think of your junior sister. At worst, when you go out, just return my precious medicine to me. Su Rushua heard this, and looked at her junior sister in her arms, who was already barely alive. The bluebird flew away. She nodded. Receiving the 2 plants of Yunshan, she thanked her senior brother for this kindness. Rushua will certainly repay you. Looking at the image of the 2 people in love, Chi Mengdai couldn't help but clench her right fist. She secretly cursed the map in her heart. Not bad. Tai Suzi read the lip movements of the 2 people's conversation with sweaty palms. He was already aware of the content of the conversation. He was very pleased with Chu Xiu, this kind and exceptionally talented disciple. With a delicate hand gesture, he began. The patterns of the temple appear. The scenes reflected in the void switch. On an endless grassland, Yifan is being chased by a group of demon races. He is in a very difficult situation. The scenes continue to switch. Disciples are being hunted and killed by the demon races. The scene is bloody and tragic. Some disciples have not given up. Covered in blood, they stand together with the demon clan. Even Chi Mengdai couldn't help but frown. The disciples in the square looked on with red eyes. Their fists were tightly clenched. These beasts of the demon clan deserve to die. Once I achieve the Tao, I will go to the Tianhuan Great Wall to kill demons and slaughter the barbarians. They really embarrassed our pure holy emperor. They can't even defeat the demon clan in a secret realm. The hot-tempered disciple of Dao Gongqing shouted loudly with a face full of disappointment. We can't blame the junior brothers and sisters. There are just too many demons in the secret realm. In the crowd, Tao Yao stared straight at the sky, muttering prayers. Big brother, you must return safely. Everyone in the secret realm can die, but my big brother cannot be in danger. I believe that brother Chu Xiu will definitely be fine. A graceful figure appeared by his side without him noticing. Chu Xiaoran, how dare you show up? Tao Yao's tone instantly turned cold. Don't think that just because you cultivated the 10,000 immortals flying flower technique, I can't do anything to you. Hee hee. Chu Xiaoran has a tall and slender figure. Her body is as white as jade. Her waist is delicate and slender. She is frail and fragile, with apricot eyes and peach cheeks, a slight smile, like a blooming flower. Sister Tao Yao, don't always resort to knives and guns. It's not very ladylike at all. Chao Yao snorted cold. I don't want to deal with that damn Chu Xiu. Why is he still not dead? Seeing Ling Yun's face dark as water. It might also be because of the sudden changes in the secret realm. Xiao Weifeng's expression was not good either. Chu Xiu is not dead. He can't sleep peacefully, especially recently. He feels that his body is quite unusual. When playing poker with his junior sister Ren Hongying, he actually lost his reaction. He couldn't lift his head. Just thinking about junior sister's strange gaze made him feel frustrated. His mood was at an all-time low. His temper grew increasingly violent. Just a few days ago, a fellow disciple from the same sect said something wrong, and he broke his legs. Now, no one from the Yunxia Fengqing sect dares to approach him, for fear of getting hurt. Wild Monster Secret Realm. Chu Xiu glanced at the sky out of the corner of his eye. A giant eye stood nearby, protecting Su Rushue and his junior sister. The earth blesses. It is extraordinary. In less than 3 hours, the 2 people's pale faces regained some color. The injuries are mostly healed. Thank you, senior brother. The 2 women stood up. They bowed slightly to Chu Xiu. Chu Xiu smiled and nodded, saying, since the outside world has noticed, the transformation of the essence in the secret realm will definitely activate the transmission portal early. Both of you, junior sisters, have not fully recovered from your injuries. Let's go to the teleportation square and wait for the return. Su Rushue pressed her pink lips together. She asked, senior brother, aren't you coming with us? No, I have something important to take care of. All right then, farewell. Chu Xiu left with a phrase, stepping on the words, moving like a ghost, disappeared in an instant, already out of sight. So fast, Tao Yu exclaimed. Senior brother Chu has left. Junior sister, let's go as well. This place is not suitable to stay long. Su Rushue's eyes glimmered with a different light. Tao Yu responded. Just about to take out Africa. Junior sister, Africa is flying in the sky. The target is too big. We will hike to the teleportation square. There should be enough time. Senior sister, I'm listening to you. Hee hee, that senior brother Chu is not only powerful, but also a really nice person. Senior sister Tao Yu has an ambiguous smile. Get lost. Chu Xiu returns to the Shadow Demon Mountain again. He steps on the mountain path. His figure is swallowed by the great. Senior brother, I can't discern the level of this grand formation. At the mountain peak, 2 men are circling around the defensive formation. Their eyes are glowing green, staring straight at the alluring, radiant, incense-scented ghost cashew in the formation. A rare treasure of heaven and earth. It can be seen but not touched. What a pity. The man in the red robe sighs. Junior brother, can't you break this great formation? He feels unwilling. The man in the blue robe shakes his head helplessly. The one who set this formation is far above me. What a pity. If we could obtain this Yin Soul cashew, the future of our divine powers would be promising. Oh, someone is coming up. The footsteps are light, neither hurried nor slow. Approaching from afar, the 2 of them looked over together. In the gray mist, a tall figure emerges. A man in a red robe walks slowly. The figure steps out of the gray mist. Chu Xiu's gaze is fixed on the 2. There is not a hint of surprise in his expression. Several hours ago, he had already monitored their arrival through the formation. Their cultivation is not bad. Junior brother is at the 8th level of the Divine Bridge realm. Senior brother is at the 9th level of the Divine Bridge realm. Among the disciples entering the secret realm this time, they can be considered strong. You are Chu Xiu. The senior brother in the red robe was visibly surprised. He recognized the person's identity. Chu Xiu remained silent. He was already prepared to pull out the 3-meter-long treasure to entertain his 2 senior brothers. The younger brother in the blue robe had a flash of golden light in his eyes. He secretly transmitted a message. Let this person enter the great formation to scout. As long as he triggers the formation and becomes still, I will be able to determine the grade of the formation. I may even be able to increase the probability of breaking the formation based on its fluctuations. The red robe senior brother's eyes brightened up. His eyes lit up. Junior brother is a well-known genius in the formation path. Since he says it can be done, then we must give it a try. He is determined to acquire the ghostly fruit. He must have his hands on it. Chu Xiu, you must have seen that genius imperial treasure too, right? To be honest with you, that is a soul demon fruit. It's extremely precious. And then, Chu Xiu has a half smile. The 2 brothers have already subtly surrounded him. Hee hee, the red-robed senior brother smiles gently and points at the mature soul demon fruit in the formation. Go in and bring him out. How about we split it 3 ways? No, how about not? Chu Xiu shook his head. The red-robed senior brother's expression instantly turned icy. If you don't want to, why waste time talking, senior brother? Just grab him and toss him into the great formation. The blue-robed junior brother looked very impatient. So, I hate you people the most, always spouting righteousness and morality, yet you like to label others as heretics. You're nothing but worthless scum, appearing noble on the outside but rotten within. Chu Xiu exudes an air of authority. His tone is indifferent. What is right and what is evil? Aren't they just a bunch of self-righteous individuals standing on a moral high ground? They merely coat themselves with a layer of righteousness for their own benefit. He speaks for himself. He draws the dominating sword, Sangmo. He points it skyward. An overwhelming aura of dominance arises. To seek death, even the mere wheel of the sea can still stir up waves. Brother, take out. Subdue him, Blue Robe Junior Brother, and take out the 4 direction flags. With a wave of the right hand, the banners fly out, embracing the wind. A third grade 4 symbol trapping formation forms a web of intricate patterns like a celestial net, covering downwards. To trap Chu Shou in place. Chu Shou's black hair like a waterfall moves with the wind. His expression remained normal. He swung there. In an instant, he cut the array flags he threw out into dust. The formation was forced. The red-robed senior brother took out a pair of crescent-shaped hooks. He moved forward, attacking Chu Shou from behind. He was extremely fast. Unfortunately, Chu Shou's speed is even faster. He turns like a ghost, leaving a shadow in place. In the next moment, he has arrived behind him. He raises the black giant sword and strikes, cutting him in half. The upper body of the man in red flies up. The blood-stained face showed disbelief. The dominant sword of the Azure Dragon brought forth a thunderous roar. This strike may not be considered a word. Describing it as a smash might be more fitting. The elder brother in the blue robe screamed, his face pale as death. He never expected that this Chu Shou would be so terrifying. With one strike, he bisected his elder brother, who had reached the peak of his skills. It's okay, I'll take you there right away. Meet with the senior brother. Chu Shou said coldly. His figure vanished from the spot. He reappeared. He was already standing in front of the man in the blue robe. A strong wind blew through his hair. The man in the blue robe looked terrified. With a gasp, he spat out blood. He was also bisected. Chu Shou remained expressionless. He raised his hand and grasped his neck, preventing his upper body from falling to the ground. The actions of these two today reminded him of unpleasant memories from years ago. The calmer he appeared, the more I think about it, the angrier I become. Back then, didn't I and that girl get captured to scout as cannon fodder? If it weren't for our good luck, we would have died in that male demon's secret place long ago. You, the man in the blue robe, are twisting your upper body. Is this great formation you're doing? Chu Shou's face turned pale, struggling to speak. Chu Shou's eyes were half squinted. With his right hand, he forcefully crushed it to death. He stepped into the great array, standing before the Soul cashew. A fishy fragrance wafted in. It was as if he was about to ascend like a celestial being. It was irresistible, making one want to consume it immediately. Chu Shou reached out and plucked the cashew. In an instant, the fruit tree rapidly withers. Eventually, it turns into a piece of dry wood. I don't know how long it will take for it to regain vitality. To grow a second phantom cashew. Chu Shou took out a jade box and sealed the phantom demon fruit inside to prevent the medicinal effect from dissipating. Put away the jade box, turn around and head down the mountain. With a loud bang, Emo Mountain turned into ruins. The mountain collapsed. The ground sank. From now on, there will be no Emo Mountain in the desolate demon secret realm. This place will no longer have any evil spirits or demon fruits. The host truly deserves to be the destined villain. He even committed the act of severing roots. Received a reward of 500 breakthrough points. After I die, I don't care if the floods come. Chu Shou sneered. Moreover, I killed too many demons on the mountain. I must disturb the time of Demon Mountain. Do not allow the demon to reverse time. Host, are you ready to break through the 10th layer of the We'll See now? Breakthrough. There's a piece of news that's neither good nor bad. I need to remind you. Chu Shou stood beneath a towering ancient tree, raising an eyebrow. He said it's the second time breaking through the extreme realm. You will face the tribulation of lightning. What do you mean? You must be mistaken. This child has analyzed a total of 300 billion times. The host's probability of facing the tribulation of lightning is 89%. Generally speaking, only a small saint would face the tribulation of lightning. Some people may never experience the tribulation of lightning in their entire lives. Perhaps this is the price one must bear for immense power. Enduring the past will make one stronger. If one cannot endure, then one will perish. Chu Shou smiled. And what of Lei Jie? I, Chu Shou, will rise high. I will tread upon the 9 heavens. The treasure hunt in the secret realm ends early due to a major incident. More than half of a massive team of over 2,000 people has fallen, just as everyone was evacuating to the teleportation point to prepare to return. All kinds of rushed in. The big chief discovered a human 30 miles away in the ancient forest. Remaining is a pair of bat demons with black fur kneeling at the feet of them. A harsh laugh issued from his mouth. I finally found you. Kill, kill, kill. Thousands of demon clans behind him raise their wolf-fawn beast drumsticks. The demons dance wild. The shouts of killing shake the heavens. The momentum is like a rainbow. Masha raises his large hand. In an instant, it quiets down. His scarlet eyes gaze into the distance. Ever since that I appeared in the sky, the human cultivators began to rush towards the teleportation point. He turned his head. He said loudly, I command the ultimate. All able-bodied men, head to the human teleportation site. It's time to launch a full-scale attack. We will completely exterminate them. It is the great chief. A frenzied response from the demon clan. They have waited far too long for this day. The killing clan regains its freedom. That is their only thought for survival. Masha reaches out to touch the pair of horns on his forehead. You can't escape. The precious mirror is mine. Chu Shou carried a bulging bundle on his back. Inside was a strange egg and half a piece of a stone mirror. The fluctuations of the stone mirror grew stronger. Someone was chasing him. Chu Shou exhaled. The owner of the other half of the stone mirror must be that great leader mentioned in the rumors. Over 20 miles away, the demonic energy was soaring. Faintly, the sounds of battle can be heard. There must be a large gathering of demon clans over there. Chu Shou stroked his chin, brewing a bold idea. His figure moved, vanishing from the spot. In a proclaimed square, disciples, covered in injuries and looking disheveled, gathered from all directions. Senior brother, I beg you, everyone, save my senior brother. A female disciple was covered in blood. She was carrying a severely injured and unconscious man whose lower body was missing. Her voice was mournful, pleading with others to save him. Seeing this, the senior brother and many others showed expressions of compassion. The divine bridge's physical body is too weak. The injury is so severe. There is almost no chance of saving him, unless there is the balanced treasure medicine. But who would be willing to give the balanced treasure medicine to an outsider? Junior sister, I have some healing elixirs here. Yi Fan stepped forward and handed him 2 rare elixirs. Thank you, senior brother. The female disciple looked very grateful. Trembling, I took it and crushed it. I applied it to my senior's wound. The square was filled with wails of anguish. Most people were injured. Some had serious injuries. It was still uncertain if they could survive today. Yi Fan glanced around. He sighed softly in his heart. He was also injured quite badly. Fortunately, he collected a lot of rare spiritual herbs. Otherwise, it would be uncertain if he could return here. A small white snake, about the thickness of a finger, crawled out from his collar. Its large, spirited eyes darted around, curiously looking everywhere. It looked just like a little sprite. Yi Fan extended his index finger. Touch his head. The little white snake squints its eye with a look of enjoyment. A graceful figure floats by not far from him. Yi Fan's eyes brightened. He stepped forward to call out to her. Su Rushuet stopped in her tracks. I found out it's Yi Fan. A slight sweat on palms. Her pink lips parted slightly. Senior brother Yi Fan. What brings you here? Yi Fan scratched his head. He smiled and said, I heard that Sister Tao is seriously injured. I have some healing elixirs here. Maybe it can help you. Su Rushuet thanked him. She said it wasn't necessary. Yi Fan thought she was being polite, unwilling to accept his goodwill. So he mentioned that he had a good harvest. He insisted that she accepted. Seeing him so enthusiastic, Su Rushuet felt helpless. The horizon elixir gifted by senior brother Chu Shou has not been fully absorbed yet. He also didn't want to reveal that Chu Shou possessed the horizon elixir. He could only vaguely say that we received help from senior brother Chu Shou. The injuries are no longer serious. Thank you for your concern, senior brother Yi. Hearing the name Chu Shou, Yi Fan's eyes narrowed slightly. Whenever he encountered a pretty girl, He would always hear the name Chu Shou from their lips. Why is it always Chu Shou? It's always about Chu Shou. He was very displeased. Sister Su has met Chu Shou. How is he doing? Su Rushua's mind reflected the image of that tall figure holding a giant sword. That smile was warmer than the sun. Her clear, beautiful eyes couldn't help but shimmer with light. Damn, Yi Fan is feeling jealous. How could he not see that this woman was also interested in Chu Shou? When senior sister Chu Xiaoran mentioned Chu Shou, she also had a similar look in her eyes. Damn, this isn't fair. Returning to her senses, Su Rushue whispered. Brother Chu is well. He should be back at the teleportation square soon. Alright, Brother Chu. It's good if there's nothing wrong. Hee. Yi Fan forced a smile. He thought to himself that Sword Spirit Yan's choice of people isn't reliable either. So many people couldn't do anything to Brother Chu. Senior Brother Yi Fan. If there's nothing else, Rushue is going to take care of junior sister. After saying this, Su Rushue gracefully left. Yi Fan scratched his head. There was something he wanted to say in his heart. Not sure if he should say it. 20 miles away from the teleportation square, in the ancient forest, Brother Chu is exchanging each spirit herb for breakthrough drops. Your luck value is worth 20. Holding a heavenly grade Chilean flower. Just about to exchange, Shushio is confused. After completing the exchange, the boy pulls up my panel. Let's see the host Shushio. 9 layers of the cultivation method and assist technique. The secret of the character technique can kill the atmosphere in the middle of the essence. The practitioner can absorb its luck for personal use. The overall combat power evaluation is 40 times that of ordinary peers. Entering the secret realm, I have increased my luck by more than 1,000. Shushio smiled. I have to say, Brother Hao Yi Fan's benefits are truly delightful. Everything is ready. Only the east wind is missing. He stood up and walked slowly towards the transport square. So many people are injured. Chu Xiu looked around at the injured people lying haphazardly in the square. He estimated roughly. There are over 300 seriously injured, and over 500 with minor injury. There were only a few dozen who weren't injured. 2,000 people entered the secret realm. Now there are less than 1,000 left. More than half have fallen. So tragic. Jia. Among them, 2 out of 10 are you. You took down that new poisonous guy. Chu Xiu ignored the boy's complaints. Find an empty spot in the corner of the square to sit and meditate. I need to adjust my energy to its best state. Prepare to welcome Lei Jia. That guy actually didn't die. A few people nearby are whispering. Senior Brother Yan and the others have lost contact. Could it be that they were killed by the demon clan? It's most likely. So what should we do? A man with a pockmarked face has a cold gaze. This is bad. The demon clan seems to be gathering. Are they planning to surround and kill the disciples at the teleportation square? But there's no need to worry. The teleportation square has an ancient defense formation. It was set up by the emperor himself. No matter how many demons there are, they can't break through. They're just a bunch of brutes. We can't do anything about them at all. Qi Mingdai gazed at the sky. Her delicate hand instinctively touched her lower abdomen. He felt restless. It felt like something bad was about to happen. Your Holiness, please don't worry. The ancient great upheaval shouldn't cause any problems, right? You are just worried and confused. The formation under the emperor's command can't possibly have a problem. As he spoke, he glanced at Qi Mingdai's abdomen. Noticing Taisu's gaze, the master was startled. He quickly placed his delicate hands on his abdomen to appear composed. Mingdai, be honest. Are you starting to see reason? Taisusu communicates. Her tone is teasing and full of gossip. It's completely different from her usual dignified and aloof demeanor. A blush appeared on Zymengdi's beautiful cheeks. At this moment, she deeply regretted not bringing a bronze lake surface to conceal her presence. Could it be that Taisusu has already noticed something amiss? Thinking of this, she felt so embarrassed that she wanted to find a crack to hide in. But Taisuko's lips are slightly curved with a sparkle. Don't feel embarrassed.